Hello, everybody. Welcome back to some more Omega Strikers Collegiate Showdown. Wait, Collegiate Corestrike League tournament play. We are live from the Shenandoah Esports Arena here. My name is Chris Clayton, and I am joined by the lovely Nolan Herndon, aka Ether. Nolan, how you doing? It's been a while, hadn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited to get into some more Omega Strikers. We were here last week. Getting into it this week, we were in play-ins, now we're in playoffs.
Yes.
So excited to get into it. We will be getting into UCLA versus Lakeland University, the 2 seed versus the 7 seed.
Yes, yeah, it's been a while. I mean, like the last time we casted Omega Strikers together, I believe, was a certain LAN very early on in the days of Omega Strikers, but I don't know, it feels like a distant memory now. But anyway, yeah, so we are here in CCL tournament play, which means that we have a bracket to show you, as the matchup we are about to show is UCLA versus Lakeland. But how did we get here, Nolan? Well, take it away.
Yeah, so we have RIT on the top bracket. We are waiting on an update for that, but SLU did win versus Auburn, so that will be SLU versus RIT. We also have George Mason versus NJIT, which will go against the winner of that top matchup. But then we have Lakeland versus UCLA, which will be coming on to stream here in a bit. And we have UT Dallas versus Longhorn, which Longhorn did beat the other UT Dallas team. So that'll be an interesting matchup on the other side.
Yeah, that should be fun to watch. And admittedly, I'm not sure which games are on which streams, so just keep an eye on the appropriate, media platforms, the Discords, whatever, to make sure that you stay up to date with all of the Omega Strikers action happening today. But with all that said, back to the series we have for you today. We have maps and pick bands to show you for this matchup, Lakeland versus UCLA, and it certainly looks like we will be starting on Night Market, as that is UCLA's pick.
Yeah, something we're all too familiar with. Night Market, one of the top pick maps in the CCL here. The map number 2, though, Taiko Temple, not one we see as often. I know you were definitely introduced to that one at the GMU LAN game, Mason. That was a blast. And then we are going to end off our tiebreaker map with Atlas Labs.
Yeah, I mean, relatively standard picks. I mean, I guess Taiko is a little out of place, a more common ban than a pick, but certainly not too out of the ordinary. But yes, so we will be starting on Night Market here very soon, as we now move into character select, right? We have, is there anything you're expecting, right? We know these Lakeland guys pretty well, but what do we know about the other side?
Yeah, 3Z, Grimella, Water Fury, all common names that I'm sure many of you have heard in the community, all very good players. So I'm really hoping they'll honestly give Lakeland a run for their money here, and definitely they are going to be able to do so at their skill level. As we see the Now pick coming out first, nothing too crazy. Now a very prominent pick in the meta here, with the IME goalie as well coming out, Asher on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy yet, right? I mean, in terms of like team comps on Night Market, you're not thinking anything crazy, right? This is I would argue, probably the least gimmicky of the maps, right? With just movement speed in the middle and some weirdly placed walls. So pretty stock standard stuff here. We have the Zentaro, a Now, and an Amy goalie there for the side of UCLA. But standing across from them will be an Era, an Asher, and an X. Who else as we get into game here?
Yeah, and we see the Knife's Edge and the Explosive Entrance being the two starting awakenings here. Zentaro really loving that Explosive Entrance. A barrier already coming down on the side of UCLA. Lakeland able to pick that up, and a barrier traded for 3Z.
Yeah, nothing too crazy here other than a lot of damage. Never mind that they are able to find a kill onto that Era, and now numbers advantage in favor of UCLA, and we'll see if they're able to get this other goal barrier down. As now more damage coming out. Everybody staggered or dead for the side of Lakeland. Coming out swinging so far, and I don't think Lakeland was quite ready for this, as now a third kill will go their way, or excuse me, a second kill. X did not die there, but I mean, wow, a very, very aggressive start for UCLA, coming out swinging quite literally.
Yeah, and that knife's edge and the explosive entrance adding so much damage to the side of UCLA. The Zentaro able to get so much damage with all of these abilities that Aimee able to help out. Now also not too terrible in the damage department here. Lakeland able to get both barriers, putting a lot of pressure in. Core flip coming out from UCLA, having to relieve the pressure. Aimee turret also coming out, trying to get that out.
Yeah, just not able to really find the Zentaro yet and get it out of their own danger zone, right? E.T. Han here on this X has been so overwhelming so far, but now with UCLA on the front foot on their own offensive plays, with now having a core flip as well, we expect that the core will stay up in this direction for a while, except a missed strike will now force to use her core strike. Or a core flip, excuse me. And sure enough, a core flip in the face of the goalie will knock them straight back in, and a score to tie this game up from Lakeland.
Yeah, and as X says, sometimes you just gotta punch it in. Core flipping there, killing the goalie, Water Fury on the side of UCLA, and able to find a goal there for Lakeland. Currently 1-1. We have quite a bit of set left to go here. No barriers taken quite yet. Soren able to defend that goal barrier. 2 still standing on both sides. 3Z not opting to use that core flip quite yet, but able to find the one. Investing it now, able to find the second barrier, but costing 1. Oh, and is going to die from the Era Tornado there. Let's see what Mouse and Lakeland can do here. Trying to get the second barrier. X able to find it with the ulti there. X, nice redirect into the top corner there. E.T. Han able to find a goal.
Yeah, and a great job. It seemed like probably the last strike of the X ult, able to stun the goalie while also reaching all the way behind him to redirect all the way back up top. Just a great strike all around, a great misdirect, and a great goal.
Yeah, and this Asher goalie being so hard to get past that secondary, allowing her to strike more often than these forwards. Soren doing a great job of holding it down. 3Z not able to get that barrier as core control goes over to E.T. Han. Grimella able to find it back though. Water Fury kind of coming up with that glitch. Able to find a barrier. Soren not finding anything with that core flip though.
Yeah, we see a lot of energy on the side. Literally all 3 players for UCLA have their core flips up right now. So if we're going to see an aggressive play, now is the time. Now, Etion also has his, and the core gets away from UCLA. They end up losing a goal barrier for it. But still, all 3 core flips remain up. There's one. No follow-up from Zentaro just yet. There it is, and an Asher Wall will cut that right off and blow up the play. But a goal barrier still drops, and there's the third. Not quite a goal, though. A great save by Soren in the heat of the moment, able to find the core and get it out. But Era certainly in trouble, right? Just fighting for her life, and sure enough, a blink in your face and a well-timed strike will put it in to make this game 2-2.
Yeah, 3Z really putting a lot of pressure on Soren. Soren trying to hold out, using that knife's edge on the edge of the goal, trying to get from top to bottom, trying to do it all but not able to do so. 2-2 in the set. We're going to see who's able to finish this first set out. E.T. Han finding the double barrier with the ult there. It has flipped, going to find it. Really nice play by E.T. Han as Lakeland will pick up the first set here.
Yeah, I mean, such a close set to start this whole series, right? And we were hoping this would be close with a 2-seed and a 7-seed, as Soren is the one who will get first pick in this draft. And Nolan, tell me what you see.
So I do see, we see the one spark, the spark of resilience, that is going to help with some of this damage coming out. Opting for the fight or flight, not a bad option as well. You have a lot of these little hits by Zentaro from the primary, from the ulti, so gonna offer a lot of speed. The spark of resilience opting onto the Zentaro there, gonna take it away, but also gonna start sparking up. The extra special though, I do want to keep track of on the X. Gonna get that ult at the start of every single really round here, but you also have to look out for the Castellas on the now. Gonna be offering a lot of speed for a lot longer. E.T. Han able to find a barrier though, enabling himself with that special.
Yeah, I mean, great stuff, and a great deny too to take away the Castellas from what would have likely been an Era. So I like that move from now, but back into gameplay, right? We see both goal barriers drop in favor of Lakeland, and we'll see if they're able to punch it in. Not quite yet, but with that extra special surely coming up soon, this X is just looming, waiting for an opportunity, and if Soren and Mouse can just kill enough time and get the core up, it will surely find its way into the goal. And here comes E.T. Han with the ultimate. It does sneak past him and now has a core flip, and that one squeaks by at such a weird angle. Now Soren with his core flip opting to use it. It will get stuffed for now, but there's another core flip, and now is able to punch that one in the other direction. And I mean, great stuff all around, right? We saw the effects of the extra special on the X, right? Finding extra ults, extra.
Bunch of X.
A lot of X's. I didn't even mean to do that, but yeah, I mean, we'll see if that's able to continue, right? We're feeling the speed effects from this now on Castellas, and yeah, I mean, it's just really all coming together.
Yeah, and Grimella doing a great job just really enabling themselves with a nice edge on the side of this arena, getting a ton of speed, able to just move around the arena as they do pick up a KO. Soren not able to pick up the save on the second goal barrier here, trying to make use of this power play. 3Z trying to find so much damage onto Soren, not able to kill him though. Soren doesn't have any evade though, so is kind of almost dead here. Is going to hold on. 3Z trying to look for that kill so they can get it in, but Soren just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, and I've been watching this now move this entire time. Like, this, we've already said it a couple times, but this speed is becoming a problem. This now is hustling around, but Soren now staggered and in danger with his Zentaro in your face. Could stuff it right here, and that will do it with a kill to boot. And now 2-0 lead for UCLA since the draft.
Yeah, and 3Z really picking up the pace on this damage. We saw in the first set they were able to get those KOs early, but didn't quite get those later into the set. But now trying to really pick up the pace again on that damage. E.T. Han able to find one barrier though. Core flip, not quite finding one from Grimella there. 3Z on the hunt. Gonna use that passive, not able to find something. E.T. Han picking up that second goal barrier, looking for the goal here, but Grimella is so fast, able to keep it away from this X. 3Z able to find a goal barrier. Soren trying to defend, able to defend the second barrier, able to get it away from 3Z, and is gonna pick up the kill with the tornado. E.T. Han on the attack now, trying to clear it, gonna opt for the core flip, gonna get it out, but the X is still pummeling up in top. 3Z able to get it out, trying to keep it away on this power play here. E.T. Han keeps going. Mouse getting the core here. Has core flip, gonna enable it. E.T. Han gonna get the kill, trying to find this goal.
Yeah, and a great save too by now to keep this alive, as now the goalie for UCLA is dead. A core flip misses, and finally Lakeland is able to put it in and get on the board. But what felt like a sure goal for so long, and frankly on both sides. There was a power play that UCLA had that I'm shocked they weren't able to score on. So very, very back and forth, but ultimately it is Lakeland's point, and they still fight on in this set.
Finding a goal barrier on each side there. E.T. Han finding the second one there. Doesn't quite have the strike. Emin, ows. Oh, wow. Left me speechless there. Able to find the strike into the bewitching beam. Able to pick up a 2-2. Again, 2-2. Fighting for this set. E.T. Han picking up a quick first barrier though.
Yeah, and sudden death feels all too familiar now. I mean, like, what started as a commanding 2-0 lead in favor of UCLA has kind of disappeared pretty quickly, and a core flip will not find its way in and get a return kill from Grimella. Oh my lord, E.T. Han is now dead in a power play for UCLA. Again, this is sudden death. If they can score here, that would be the end of this set, and we go to another draft with a tied game. But E.T. Han is back, and Lakeland is on the aggression, looking for just a way in, a way to find this X, but they are not able to get there, as Grimella is just playing the bad guy, having to just disrupt as much as they can. A great Asher wall to buy some time, and that one just squeaks by. A great direct right at the face of Soren, and just wasn't able to get there, and we have a tie game now, Nolan.
Grimella putting so much work in, won like 5 or 6 strike wars in a row there to keep possession of the core. We do see the spark of leader. It was 3 sparks here. Strength, agility, and leadership. 1 will be falling to the Zentaro there. Chrono boost, even more speed on that now.
Jeez. Yeah, that's going to be so overwhelming, and we see the spark of leadership go to Era. Now Zentaro taking his time, but opting for another spark.
Yeah, the spark of strength gonna be amplified by that spark Zentaro has already taken. So he's gonna get so much more damage. The Unstoppable to try and just negate some of that damage. But I really don't think it's gonna be enough. I think UCLA has really, hopefully, kind of gotten to where they need to be, but we'll see.
Yeah, only one way to find out, and it's to play it out. So we are back into the gameplay, right? One goal barrier down, make that 2 in favor of UCLA, as now they look to punch 1 in. But meanwhile, punching on the other side of the map is E.T. Han, looking to stuff it down UCLA's goal, but does not even get a goal barrier yet. A great defensive effort from all 3 players on UCLA, and I mean, this game is very, very close, right? These players are all extremely good, and this is on full display now. But Soren with a core flip, ready to fight back against whatever may come his way. Now, there is the core flip. Now, something to look out for is that both E.T. Han and Zentaro have their core flips, respectively. So does Now, and there it is. And we'll see. Yes, Now is able to stick that one in, as Zentaro's core flip did not even need to be used. So we will see if that could potentially amount to more in this next round.
Yeah, but we keep talking about this Now. This Now is such a problem for Lakeland. Just winning so fast, winning all the core strikes, core wars against the Mouse here. Not able to get it to their X, which is their main force of getting this goal in. But E.T. Han able to finally get the core, able to get those 2 barriers finally, but Grimella is going to try and make it so that his X can never get the core again.
Yeah, it really, I mean, you make a great point. It really does feel like this Now is just everywhere she needs to be all the time. I mean, such a commanding presence. And just feeding the Zentaro, right? Where Zentaro ends up getting a lot of the credit, but yeah, Now is playing out of her mind right now, and no pun intended. Man, I'm making all the puns today, but a core flip and a punch right to the face will send Amy to another dimension, and a tie game once again.
Yeah, sends Aimee back to Aimee's app there with a swift punch to the throat. Getting that goal in, X able to finally get that core back, as we were saying, but the pressure from UCLA still there, still evident. That's Now putting on a master class. A KO coming through onto Mouse, the other midfielder here. Soren doing a nice job there, not going to lose a goal barrier quite yet. Still not. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, great core control from UCLA there, too, with how disruptive that play was from E.T. Han and Soren to really try to kill as much time as they could. There were a lot of times where it really could have got away from Lakeland and been a complete waste of a power play, but fortunately, that is not the case, and Soren is still up with 2 goal barriers. However, 1 goal barrier is still standing on the other side, and only 12 seconds until overtime.
Yeah, Soren doing such a nice job of defending these goal barriers here, not letting a single one past quite yet, and is going to finally have one fall here after a tough effort from 3Z and Grimella here. Trying to find the other one on the offensive here. E.T. Han not able to get the core. Grimella is just not letting it pass. Finally goes past, but E.T. Han not able to find that other barrier. Finally finds it, though, after popping the ult. Grimella trying to keep this away. This X is such a threat when he gets this core.
Yeah, and a tragic miss from Amy to just barely miss the corner, and it bounces right back up into E.T. Han's hands. But thankfully, once again, Now standing right. What just happened? I don't even know what I just watched. Zentaro launches himself straight into the blast zone with the help of a Soren core flip. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, the classic Zentaro where you dash as you get core flipped or damaged right into the edge, and you just get KO'd. Very common on Zentaro, as Lakeland will be looking for their second set here. E.T. Han with the core flip, trying to get it to him. It's almost good as a goal if it gets to him. Gonna core flip, and there it is, finding their second set. Lakeland up 2-1.
Yeah, and a great call, right? The moment that core was all the way up in really X's general area, we know that with that core flip, it would not take much for him to find a hole and shoot right in there.
Yeah, and we see both the quick strikes and the heavy impacts. Asher going to be opting for the quick strike here. Now, not picking anything quite yet. X not either. The Spark of Focus going to be denied from the Zentaro. Going to get the heavy impact, though. Really good for the Zentaro. I really like the draft from UCLA here. I think they definitely won this draft. But the Asher with quick strikes, especially with that secondary, 0.3 second strikes. That is so hard to get past.
Yeah, that's going to be very overwhelming, and we'll see what that amounts to. But for now, a goal barrier down for Lakeland as Zentaro looks for one more. A great stuff there, but they are able to find their one more. And Zentaro just missing a strike there. We'll see. Just misses that one as well. And now the offense going the other way as E.T. Han has ulted and is swinging and does find both goal barriers. So now open nets both directions and a great delay and nice patience from E.T. Han to wait for the perfect moment and sends that straight up and into the goal.
Yeah, and if E.T. Han gets that core, he is getting a goal barrier. Here he is getting a goal. So Grimella is having to fight for their life to try and keep it away from this X. I mean, also trying to just keep it away from this X because he is so dangerous in the face of the core and all the barriers. Soren having to enact the core flip there, able to have one barrier still left standing. Mouse and all of them fighting in the corner there, though. Soren still being able to defend this barrier. A fight on the bottom side of the map here. Grimella trying to look for one, not able to find it.
Man, and look at the versatility. Like, this now is everywhere. I mean, going from top to bottom just to maintain this possession and really, like you said, keep it out of E.T. Han's hands. But we find ourselves in a situation where it is on the wrong side of the field. So we will see. Now, back in the hands of UCLA, right? Unable to get the goal barrier that time, but E.T. Han does find a kill, and I believe that Zentaro either had or was very close to his core flip. So that hurts a lot if you are UCLA, excuse me.
Oh!
But an awkward angle will sneak it right past Lakeland's defenses, and we'll take a quick goalie goal there.
Yeah, and that overtime, making that core go so fast. Soren not able to respond, and a goal for UCLA.
Yeah, and that's one you just kind of got to move on from if you're Lakeland, right? You can't let that bother you too much. That's a very tough angle that you just can't be ready for. But now E.T. Han taking a beating as he will almost go down, but not quite. And now as all of the damage is on cooldown, I mean, he will likely
fighting for his life here.
He evades one more and goes and grabs his goalie's orb, and just like that, he is back like he never left, except he just took a lot more damage, so maybe he has left, but we'll see. Not dead yet, though, is all that matters, is Mouse finding the core flip and a goalie core flip the other direction to save the day. E.T. Han still just fighting for his life, and it feels like we have quite a strategy change here from UCLA, and the call is get rid of this X. If X ever gets the core, we've said it a couple times, that it's something bad is going to happen. So take him off the field and play numbers, but they have yet to kill him.
They cannot kill E.T. Han.
He is just absorbing the pressure like it's not even there.
And he just has not fallen. But Soren able to find out. The nice Oki from E.T. Han, able to bow rush up and send the core down. Looking for match point in this first match.
Yeah, and I think UCLA has the right idea. They just aren't able to finish. The answer seems to be get rid of this X. He's squishy and we have the damage to deal with it. But they haven't been able to just find that one hit to knock him far enough away. And sure enough, he spends that whole round just surviving off of literally nothing. And just a couple missed skill shots too here and there allows X to survive the whole time. Now with a core flip and
this pressure.
Very dangerous positioning. He's punching 3 people at the same time. Nolan, what is happening? He's gonna kill all of them. This is crazy to watch, this pressure and presence that Etihan has in this side of the field. I mean, look at how far up Soren is. They have fully committed to this in-your-face playstyle, and it works out perfectly. Lakeland will take game 1, 3-1.
Holy, what a match. And 3-1 really not describing how close this match was. The first 2 sets, 2-2, down to the wire. So many KOs, so much damage, and just crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, just, yeah, unbelievable stuff from Lakeland there to really, like, I just really force it. I mean, they had a plan, they had an identity, and they just absolutely crushed it. And, you know, we see the commitment from Soren to go up and put it away. And, I mean, props to Etihan for, again, absorbing that pressure like it was never even there. Like, surviving that whole round with literally 0 HP. And, I mean, that was incredible to watch. But enough of game 1. Do you remember the map for game 2?
We indeed are going to Taiko
Yes,
Temple.
we are. How do you feel about
pick.
that?
Taiko definitely, it's a map a lot like AtLab, but with some twist. You have the Taiko drums on the wall, being able to bounce people off, being able to bounce that core into unusual positions, and then you have those 2 kind of weirdly shaped goal barriers. So we'll see if they decide to maybe keep that damage up, maybe change something up, but I expect maybe the Asher again. We'll see if that, probably goalie again for Soren. So strong, Soren able to just defend so well, but
yeah, and looking back to game 1, I mean, let's see what these teams can really take into game 2, because what worked for UCLA was when they embraced their damage, I think. We saw it in the early sets that they almost seemed surprised at how much damage they did, or at least we were surprised at how much damage they did. And when they were able to find the kills, good things happened. I mean, it's simply put, when the other team is dead, they can't defend. So, like, when they had to change their playstyle and start addressing Etihan, that's when things really started to fall apart, and they weren't able to kill him as easily as they were able to kill Soren in the first couple sets. So we'll see if they really are able to sort of embrace that identity of, okay, I mean, we can't get it around you, we can't play around you, we just need to kill you. And we'll see if that's enough for UCLA to come back on Lakeland's map pick, to be fair.
yeah, for sure. We'll see if Lakeland will be able to seal the deal here in the winner's side and drop UCLA down, but we still have some game to be played as we see the last of the replays here.
Yeah.
That sneaky goal coming in from that angle off the bottom side there.
Yeah. And I mean, just look at this presence. Look how close everyone on the field was toward the end of those replays. I mean, it was crazy to watch because that's so not standard.
Yeah.
This effect that Etihan had on UCLA and just the attention that he demands was certainly something to behold. So we'll see if they can keep that up in game 2.
Yeah, for sure. But I do want to talk about what we might see. So we have the Asher goalie for Soren. Do you think they'll keep the X? Do you think they'll keep the Era? Do you think they'll kind of swap it up? Maybe a different midfielder? Because I'm not going to lie, that now looks so good.
I agree, yeah. And I'm kind of curious if it's worth banning. I mean, that was just as overwhelming, but for different reasons, as we've been gushing about this X and all that. Now looked like a problem. And so I'm curious if they'll ban that, and if they don't, I don't see a reason for UCLA to change that. I do think that works to their favor, and that could help in the damage department. I mean, we didn't really see Lakeland finding many kills as much as they did just beat on you. Like, they weren't actually trying to look for kills. So, I mean, in that sense, I guess you could say maybe not go now, but I don't think I'd agree with that. I think the now looked very strong for UCLA. If you're Lakeland, I don't see a reason to change a thing. I mean, like, fundamentally, I don't view Tycho and Night Market as super different maps, right? Without a black hole in the middle, or like without whatever you even want to describe Gates as being. Like, it's not that gimmicky sort of playstyle. At the end of the day, it is just a rectangle with some obstacles in the middle. So I don't see a reason for Lakeland to really change their style. We'll see if UCLA opts to sort of lean more into that damage like I was describing, or try to find another way around it, but only one way to find out, as I've said a couple times, and that's to just play it.
Yeah, for sure, and it looks like the Asher ban being hovered, them saying, okay, we could not really get past Soren's Asher, and then now ban also coming across for Lakeland. Both handshaking, saying, okay, your Asher was a problem, we couldn't get past her, and okay, your now was annoying, we couldn't get it to our X. So we also see the Juno coming out here, possibly the Kazan, going to be a lot of damage again from the side of UCLA. And this time, potentially opting for a melee goalie in Atlas.
Yeah, and we end up seeing, I mean, both of those bans end up being enough to completely flip these team comps on their heads, right? We see brand spanking new characters all across the board.
And we have 4 Dubu.
Yeah, that's true.
Is surprisingly somewhat common on this map. So your Tofu Fortress here being able to block off one of the sides of the map. If you ever get it into the corner, your Tofu Fortress just locks it in. So much presence. And already a goal from the side of Lakeland. So much pressure from both the Dubu, the Rune, just everyone.
Yeah, and a great job from Soren to step up pretty much to the midfield line there to make sure that the core was always in Itihan's hands. Like, even when it got past him, Soren was quick to get it right back to him, and that's the stuff that the great teams will do, right? I mean, it's overwhelming. It's so hard to deal with and prepare for, but now as UCLA needs to find a window of their own and yet to find a goal barrier yet, there is one, but a kill in return, as Lakeland now has numbers and the core in their possession. They will find another quick goal, and Lakeland up early.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but in the bottom left corner, that Tofu Fortress being employed, basically ensuring that they get both of those goal barriers, because there's nowhere to go with it. And also you have this Rune who's able to put more creations out, just so much that you have to try and bypass. And there's just no damage on the side of UCLA, even though they have a damage comp.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that Kazan is still level 1, right? I mean, like, this is how controlling Lakeland has been so far. Kazan just now hitting level 2, and we'll see if that's enough to really start finding opportunities of their own, but so far we haven't seen that. And now Itihan, once again, just waiting for an opportunity, waiting with a core flip. Kazan able to deny it this time, but if Lakeland is able to find one little gap and get it up to the Dubu, and here it comes, right? I mean,
just like the X.
Yeah, this is no different now, and a good bounce there for UCLA to keep it alive. And you know, now Itihan taking all the damage, right? We see the strategy being employed, like you said, at the end of the last game, where maybe the answer is to just take Itihan out. We'll see, because he's getting thrown around, but he's still alive. Soren now not needing to do much, and sure enough, it just creeps in, right? Rune able to find a goal from no man's land, really is. Just the chaos in UCLA's goal was too much to handle.
Yeah, and the Kazan hitting 2 so late. As the community likes to say, Kazan has 2 forms. Unfortunately, was able to only access one of them for a good chunk. The Rune opting for the 1-2 punch here. Going to really be doing a lot of damage when he really banishes people, gets that double killer, and just going to be able to find KOs, as we see the Spark of Leadership going over to Soren as well. The other Spark going over to Water Fury. So
yeah, great stuff all around. I mean, it's hard really analyze that first set if you're UCLA, because you really didn't have many opportunities to play, right? Kazan was such a non-factor that
So
it's hard
impressive.
to even, right? It's hard to even analyze what needs to change, but Lakeland certainly has not changed anything as they are keeping the aggression up. Now Soren up farther than the rune, and great coordination does let one sneak by, however, and will lose a goal barrier for it, but not the end of the world, as now the core is back in Itihan's possession, and by Itihan I mean Lakeland, because it is back in the goal, because this game moves that quickly. Now Soren able to make a great defensive stand there, and another great clear. Oh, but a great save once again by Kazan to keep the aggression going now as a Nubu wall moment. Oh, wow, and a great kill onto the goalie for UCLA, and now an empty net means they have to keep aggression coming, but one rune pillar will keep it in Lakeland's possession, in UCLA's goal and scoring.
Yeah, Dubu X, it's basically the same
I
thing
guess
Itihan
so.
says, as he's just in the goalie's face again and again. X ult log, again, it's like the same thing.
If you really squint your eyes, they look the same.
At least the Itihan.
Right. Yeah, so now we see Itihan once again in danger of dying, but with his core flip up, I would expect to see it soon, and sure enough, there it is. A Dubu wall will come out, but no goal barrier yet. There it goes. Now Itihan still staying alive, waiting for his opportunity as he keeps getting them and keeps finding goal barriers and goals because of it. Now still alive on the other side of the map, and now no longer staggered and finding goals once again. I mean, the formula is so simple for Lakeland, and yet it's so hard to find the answer.
And I don't know about you, but I'm getting deja vu to last game.
I am too.
The X being unkillable, the Dubu being unkillable. You just can't kill this Itihan guy.
It's crazy. It's so hard to find a way to finish him off now, as Soren does put the Atlas ult down to give a little bit of support to Itihan from the other side of the map. Now as Soren with a core flip of his own, looking for a potential play, and a great save there from UCLA's goalie, Water Fury, to protect this one goal barrier. But again, I mean, up 2 goals and a full set in this game is starting to look bleak, because again, I mean, this is Lakeland's map pick, right? This is where they're comfortable, and we're certainly seeing why.
Oh, and Itihan looking able to find that second barrier finally. The core flip from Soren, he's playing up while Mouse is defending. Itihan low. Will they finally be able to find the kill? No, because Lakeland will score and take their second set. Wow.
And that angle was crazy. I'm pretty sure Soren sent that straight at the corner of the box in the middle of the map, and it went straight at the goal for UCLA. That's an incredible shot there from Soren to put that one in, and now up 2-0 in this game. Could be, I mean, not even could. They are definitely running away with this now.
Yeah, and Stagger Swagger, a huge pickup for Itihan.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to keep your damage on
yeah.
me, I'm going to get speed, and I'm still not going to die. So Itihan just trying to survive, but it hasn't seemed to be a problem quite so far. The heavy impact actually going to the rune, getting all the damage awakenings here. So.
Yeah, I mean, with a 1-2 punch, and yeah, like you said, now a heavy impact, this rune's going to become a problem, and Itihan is going to have survivability all the more. So we shall see if, once again, if UCLA is able to find an answer, right? And it's so far has seemed to be find a kill onto Itihan, right? We know it's possible, but they just haven't been able to do it. And now these just chaotic strike wars and keeping the core in a quarter of the map and for a full like 10 seconds is exactly what Lakeland wants. But on the other side, one bad bounce and it gets past your whole team and you're losing whole goal barriers for it. And now with UCLA on the advance, see if they're able to find a hole, and they do, as Grimella able to put that one in. And is that the first goal for UCLA in this game?
I believe so. Maybe seeing, hopefully, a little spark of hope. Not quite a spark in the game, but hopefully a spark of hope for UCLA picking up their first. But we'll see. ET Han low, but does have that stagger swagger as long as he is able to keep alive, but able to kill him finally.
Yeah.
And things are looking up for UCLA.
Right. I mean, like, here's the result. We finally see the effect that UCLA can have when they have numbers. We have yet to see it until now, but ET Han is back quickly, and just like that, the goal barrier situation is even. One up for both sides. Now, Lakeland will lose their last, and a great little mix-up there from Kazan, and an assist from both other players. Great teamwork there, and maybe UCLA has found the answer.
Yeah, and I'm not positive, but I believe from what I saw, Juno must have picked up a Dash Awakening, really extending the range. Yeah, you see,
definitely, yeah,
being able to cross so much of the map now, and maybe that's what the game changer is Juno able to pick up so much pressure on the field like they were able to do on the Now last game.
Yeah, and that can have such a huge effect, right? It might not seem like much on paper, but those jumps like we just saw can absolutely be a difference maker in the long run of this game if you're capable of covering that much space. I mean, covering space is the name of the game.
Yeah, like, look, so much distance. Able to find the second goal barrier there. Hopefully looking for their first set here. Ramella midfield, but can always be in the goal box with that dash. The Water Fury getting rezzed. So much going on. People bouncing off all the taiko drums. But Mouse going down there. Breezy trying to look for it. Grimella trying to help out. Almost has a core flip. Does core flip. Soren able to get it out though. ET Han does have the core flip here, so they have to be careful. Is going to core flip it on the drum. Crazy angle from ET Han and able to pick up one. Still on set point for UCLA though.
Yeah, I mean, another great shot off the center from Lakeland, right? We see why this is their map pick. They are clearly very comfortable with these obstacles and just with this map as a whole, as they look very complete. And now, again, if they're able to find 2 more goals before they let up one, I mean, this whole series is over.
And watch this Dubu. If it gets into the corner, it's so dangerous, especially once the Dubu gets the Tofu Fortress. Is getting a little low, though. Is going to bounce all over. Not quite dead. Is going to find the goal barrier, but not quite the goal yet. Able to find a goal barrier for himself, though. 3Z looking for the goal, and hopefully their first set. Grimella in the midfield. ET Han looking, but not able to find it off the log. Still looking for it, though. Core flip out of Water Fury, gonna save it. 3Z trying to keep it up. Let's see, on the offensive, passing, and Grimella gonna win the strike war, gonna pick up their first set. UCLA on the backswing.
Yeah, certainly still in this game, right? I mean, it's far from out of it, and we now know, like, Lakeland bleeds, right? This game was looking very out of control even like 5 minutes ago. So UCLA putting some pieces together, starting to find out, okay, maybe we find a pick, maybe if we're able to keep it away from Etienne and just really keep it on the right side of the field, then good things happen, right? Just naturally. So now as we move to draft, how do you feel about this?
A second spark being picked up by Water Fury. Doesn't have the spark of leadership, though. That is on Soren, so they aren't too worried about it, but does have 3 sparks, so it's going to be quite tanky and have a lot of cooldown reduction. The missile prop on ET Han going to do a lot of work with that wall, though. ET Han almost dead, though. Is going to finally die to the hook from 3Z. 3Z looking for hopefully a goal barrier. Trade back, is going to trade one back finally with the power play. And trying to look for that second one. ET Han is back up, though.
Yeah, and again, like, we're seeing the answer come together. They're finally able to get these picks even through the Stagger Swagger for ET Han. And while the Stagger Swagger is certainly putting in work, it's not quite enough, right? ET Han's almost dead again. But we've learned the hard way. It does not matter unless he's dead. And there you go. Soren with a core flip now. But down a man. We will see if Lakeland is able to stall this out and potentially get a goal barrier of their own if they're lucky, but not quite. They will lose their own goal barrier. Itihan is back, but a little too late as
nice
a
flip.
great save there from UCLA to maintain their one goal barrier still remaining. And a potential shot. Not quite. Oh, wow. Great find. Finding Kazan in the middle of all that action and able to find a great strike to put it in from ultimately Juno. And just a great team play there from UCLA.
In the stagger swagger, I want to touch back on it again, will not save you from burst, which Kazan is so good at. He has so much damage at this point in the game, has scaled up. So Itihan not really able to make use of that stagger swagger for very much of this set. So UCLA being able to just find so many KOs onto him. Really well played so far from UCLA to turn it from what looked so bleak. But Itihan looking low again, does have the core flip, trying to, gonna get bounced off the Taiko drum in the middle. 1-1 core flip, Water Fury gonna drop the other goal barrier here. Itihan, they have 2 core flips here, almost 3. Gonna try and look for this goal. Itihan is gonna find it.
Yeah, great patience once again from Itihan, waiting for a window, and nobody on UCLA able to react quite in time as that distance was just a little too short. And so we find ourselves once again with a tie game in this set, but Lakeland still up 2-1 in the whole game.
Yeah, and Itihan has to be so careful because he did use that core flip, which means he has no evade. So he has to be so careful about this damage coming at him. Almost dead. You see, bounce off the Taiko drum and just dead. And that's what I was talking about. Has no evade after core flipping. So it's nice that he got the goal, but he's just dead again. And Mouse trying to control this with the rune pillars there. Not able to find anything. Threezy trying to find it into the corner. Not able to find anything quite yet. Mouse not getting anything. Threezy able to find that second goal barrier. Looking for this goal. Trying to make it 2-1.
Yeah, and Itihan is back in the mix, right? I mean, if he's able to die, like, it doesn't matter if he's dead all the time if UCLA can't capitalize on it. And off of his last death, they did not get much. So thankfully, they have been able to find opportunities elsewhere and have gotten both goal barriers down. But, I mean, the presence and a strike in the wrong direction from Grimella looked like potentially setting up Itihan to get that last goal barrier. Well, man. Frankly, lucky bounce in Soren's favor to keep this one alive. Now Kazan moving forward with a core flip, and this could get dangerous, but back in the hands of Itihan, we've seen this be a problem before.
Oh, no.
And there it is, right? And the core flip's up. One more goal for Lakeland would put this whole thing away.
Water Fury being pixels off of corner clearing that, but it comes back up. Unfortunately, back to the Dubu. Doesn't even have to invest the flip, so still does have that. Lakeland 1 goal away from being able to close out this series 2-0. UCLA fighting for winner's side.
Yeah, and Itihan very healthy again. Here comes the core flip. Now no evade, and he is still staggered, but a core flip in the face, and a great log will stuff it right into UCLA's goal, putting this whole series away. Lakeland will take it 2-0 over UCLA.
And again, these games both being 3-1, that does not tell the story of these games at all.
No, yeah, far from it.
Just so back and forth. You think UCLA is out, they come back swinging, they get a set, they are looking so good. Lakeland able to fight back though and close out these games. So crazy.
Yeah, and look at these stats too. I mean, like the redirects and, I mean, 8 goals from Itihan. We see where all the damage is coming from too. I mean, it's almost, I don't want to use the term one-man army, but like Itihan putting in so much work on all fronts to really secure that win for Lakeland.
Yeah, and again, X, Dubu, he does it all.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Just able to just sit there in the goalie's face and punch those goals in, get all those goal barriers. If it gets to Itihan, you are in trouble.
Yeah, and as we take a look at some of these replays, right, it's it's the same story told in different colors, right? I mean, it's like we said, Dubu, X, doesn't matter. Etion's in your face and likely scoring. Another great redirect off the middle. I must have missed that one in the moment, but again, Lakeland just looked very, very comfortable and confident in this map. I mean, it was their map, and we certainly found out why. And I would say I was wrong about this map being similar to my Night Market and that it's not too gimmicky. These drums put in work for Lakeland.
Yeah, able to find so many crazy angles off that middle Tycho drum. Just not expecting. You see Etion at the bottom. He just suddenly, the core goes red, and it's suddenly at the top of your goal from out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, before you can even think about it, or even see it, really, it's in your goal. And Lakeland felt so, or at least looked, that was the goal I was talking about. That angle is disgusting from Soren. But that's the confidence that we're talking about, and the confidence that comes with the amount of experience that this Lakeland roster has, certainly paying off. And yeah, I mean, just commanding win for Lakeland. But UCLA put up a great fight.
Yeah, and I definitely do expect them to come back quite far in kind of the loser's side here. They just showed so much promise that I think just if a few things go different, this game is totally different. So I think as long as they can adapt and keep their heads in the game, they can definitely make a nice run back up this bracket. So definitely do not count them out.
Right, yeah, and we're seeing those now, right, where UCLA found a bit of a resurgence and some momentum in this game, able to find a set and just find some goals, frankly. Like, it sounds rough that I have to describe it that way, but like, they really did find the keys to success a good handful of times. So yeah, certainly a couple things here and there, and now with their experience under their belt, yeah, I would not be surprised to see UCLA go on a great run later.
Yeah, especially versus number 2 seed. We've seen Lakeland perform again and again. Everyone trying to come after them for the crown from last CCL. So definitely the team to beat, and UCLA definitely could come back and do so, but not able to do so this time.
Yeah, so great stuff all around. But we are going to take a quick break, so thank you for watching that series. Don't go anywhere because we've got plenty more Omega Strikers coming at you through the whole rest of the day. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to more Omega Strikers action in the Collegiate Corestrike League Tournament Playoff action. My name is Chris Clayton, and I'm joined once again by my brother Kevin Clayton, and we are coming at you live from the Shenandoah Esports Arena here in Winchester, Virginia. Now, we've been covering some Omega Strikers action all day, right? We just got finished with the UCLA versus Lakeland matchup, and that was very intense, very, very close, but we're expecting another very intense, very, very close matchup coming up here. We've got the UT Dallas Meteorites against NJIT. And let's take a look at how we got here, right? We got the bracket up on your screen currently. We are now in the loser's side of the bracket. We have up at the top is the game that we will be bringing it to you in a couple moments here with NJIT against UTD Meteorites. Meanwhile, on the other side, right, we've got plenty of action going on as we encourage you, as always, to stay up to date with what's going on in the Omega Strikers world. Be sure to check out the B stream and get as much coverage as you can. But, yes, so for now, we've got a heck of a matchup between the 5 seed and the 6 seed, Kevin.
Yeah, and after such a super intense match that we just saw with some wacky Taiko Temple shenanigans, I am super excited to see this sort of like maybe a more slower tempo type match, maybe maps that are a little less chaotic, because we did see a lot last week during the like play-in playoff stuff that it was all very like standard. You played a lot of Night Market, you played a couple of Amy, and just kind of like tried to avoid some of the more like crazy Gates of Obscura type stuff, but I could be wrong. Like, you know, some people prefer and embrace the chaos of some of the maps, while other people try to stay as far away as possible. So it should be good.
Yeah, and that's, you know, you make a great point, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe map pick bans are going on right now, so we'll bring those to you as soon as we get them. But yeah, like Taiko's kind of in that weird middle ground where like some teams stake it, some teams don't. Some maps are pretty standard, some aren't. And last week we got to kind of dip our toes in the water and get a feel for who likes what and how we feel about certain maps and stuff. And the standard felt like usually a Night Market and maybe an Oni Village or At Lab. Like in my opinion at least, I guess I don't have like the statistics on this, but those seem to be the 3 most popular in terms of maps that were left open. And that means that we're getting rid of, you know, the IMEs of the world and the Gates of Obscuras of the world, and etc. So yeah, I mean, teams certainly seem to prefer these a little less chaotic maps, more, you know, play to our strategy, play to our skill. But sometimes playing to your strategy means playing around the map. So we'll see. Only time will tell what these teams will pick.
Yeah, where's Inkies when you need it?
Right? Man, I hated that map. I actually don't mind telling you that I don't miss that at all. But
I love Inky.
Yeah, it was certainly unique and would add a fun twist to the rest of the game. But yeah, so I mean, we should be getting into it soon, but I mean, you want to talk about like, I mean, I'm going to take a minute, right? You and I have not been on a desk talking about Omega Strikers in a long time. I just mentioned this when Nolan was on here with me. Shout out the Shenandoah LAN we had at about a year ago now, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just crazy how much this game has evolved, and now we've got collegiate playoffs happening right now on the Odyssey Interactive Twitch channel. I mean, we appreciate you all being here with us, but it's just exciting stuff going on with Omega Strikers.
And the game has changed so much, but at the same time, the community is still just so incredibly passionate, so incredibly strong.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah. But with all of that, I think it's so cool seeing, like, characters have been added, and, like, yeah, there have been meta changes, but just the little changes of like making sure the numbers have been staying good. I think that's part of the reason why people have stuck with this for so long, is that the game is still getting just enough love to like really keep it fresh for a lot of these players, and that really adds a whole new dimension, especially when we are still playing on the last patch. Like there was a whole new season, everything was going to be changed, but with 1 week left of the competition season, everybody decided we should probably stick back a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's the right move. And on the note of competition, right, we are getting word that it sounds like our map pick bans are in. So let's take a quick look at the NJIT versus UT Dallas Meteorites picks and bans. Team 1 being NJIT means we will be playing on Night Market to start. Gates of... Hey, what were we just talking about? Gates of Obscura is map number 2, opting for some uncomfortable picks, as we talked about, and AtLab will be the deciding factor here. But, I mean, again, like, relatively standard with one quirky map in there, right? Last series we covered, it was Tycho. This time around, it's Gates of Obscura.
Yeah, normally it's a lot of Night Market round 1, AtLab round 2, or the other way around, and then you have the wacky map for the third, the tiebreaker. But it does seem like the Meteorites are planning on just letting it all just go crazy to start things off. And when you have a strategy going into a map, especially when they have a very unique mechanic built in, I mean, it just, like, it can solidify a match so easily. We saw that with SLU and Tycho Tempo. That Dubu was causing problems on purpose.
Well.
That was Lakeland. I apologize.
Yes. No, you're good. Yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. Like, the point still stands. Lakeland looked so comfortable around their map pick. I said it a lot during that series, right? They knew every angle off that middle drum and all the walls. I mean, it was certainly something to behold, and we'll see if we're expecting something similar, right, with UTD Meteorites picking Gates, right? These gimmicky maps where if you are going to leave it as your pick and not even just like the decider where you're stuck with it, then, we'll see. Do they have a strategy? Do they have a plan? Are they comfortable with it more than any other team? Well, only time will tell. And one way to, I feel like I've said it so many times today, one way to find out, and that's to play it out. So yeah, we should be getting into game here fairly soon. We'll take you right in as we get in. But yeah, I mean, like, we're going to be on Night Market, map 1, NJIT's pick as we get into character select here from Night Market.
Yep. And we're already seeing the Juliet band hover. I mean, if you're going to be playing on a map that encourages you to stay close to the walls, who else would you want to get rid of but the Dash Punch Menace herself, as we get rid of Juliet and Estelle from the other side?
Yeah, so I believe that Juliet is targeted as well. Like, UTD has a very strong Juliet player, and that's a pretty standard ban, at least from what I've been able to see from teams that have to play against this UTD Meteorites roster. So, I mean, we shall see if that pays off. An interesting Mako pick here that I feel like we don't see very often, or at least we personally haven't seen, but over the course of the last week in the streams that we've been able to put on here from Shenandoah. But getting into game, right? Here we are, NJIT against UT Dallas Meteorites. Getting into it quickly as Blue Blazing looking to find a goal barrier, but he will just miss, and we are well underway, folks.
Yeah, and already Blue Blazing taking a lot of stagger damage just to start things off. And while we do see the core onto the side of the Meteorites, it does seem like they do have pretty alright control. It's just going to be a matter of getting it past this Mako, who has been doing a great job of clearing it constantly. I mean, this is already 2 very strong pressure shots from the Asher, from Blue Blazing, but the Mako does not care.
Yeah, and Mako now with core flip up is feeling pretty safe, right? With 2 goal barriers up and a core flip to boot. Certainly feeling good, right? Strike shot coming out too to clear that away. An awkward bounce there for now, but able to maintain control, right? Blue Blazing still in some danger in the health department, right? Certainly not feeling comfortable up front, but not staggered yet, right? Getting a heal from now and ultimately able to stay alive and struggling, but still chugging, as now possession will move back to NJIT, and they will look to score as the second goal barrier drops, and sure enough, one simple Zentaro dash will punch that one in, and NJIT takes first blood here.
And that is just, I mean, clean textbook Omega Strikers right there. You got the second goal barrier, immediately goes for the core flip, and this UTD Meteorites start to spread out, trying to cover the options, but Zentaro sees a small pocket and is able to close it out. An Asher wall able to secure that other goal barrier, and a very soft, almost just bump to get the core into the goal, and it is 1-1.
Yeah, you could tell that was almost an accident, because excuse me, Blue Blazing starting to pull off and opting for health, right? Saying, okay, we got the goal barrier. Let's sort of take a reset and we'll come back and punch it in a minute. But,
Whoa.
I mean, the court just kind of accidentally going in and finding a goal for UTD to tie this game up. And now we are into our 3rd point of this game so far. Blue Blazing once again fighting for his life, but finding a kill in return.
Oh my goodness. And look how much healing UTD has on their side, because you have not only the Atlas ultimate, but just Now's kit in general. I do not expect to see Asher get taken down many times from just pure like stagger break knockback. If Asher's going to go down, it was just being a little too close to the ledge, but only time will tell, as another dash into the shield blast will not be enough to close out that point, but a nice Mako ulti will get Blue Blazing in an awkward spot.
Yeah, and this damage starting to rack up, but again, the Now healing is really starting to put in work, as Blue Blazing is also able to weave in some Atlas healing like we see now and some orbs. But enough about Blue Blazing, as Zentaro is finding a core flip right in the face of UTD's defense and is able to punch that one in like there was nobody there anyway.
Oh yeah, and that is just kind of the mind game of it, right? You got your core flip up, you either wait for the strike or you full on blast it. Oh my goodness, Zentaro immediately returning a shot in stride and is able to take another KO, but as well getting the ultimate to get the core to redirect back into the 2nd goal barrier, and Atlas barely misses that to go for 3 points, and now NJIT is up.
Yeah, I mean, a great scheme to try to take advantage of the numbers, having Now dead for so long. And I mean, she respawned right as the goal went in, but too little too late means that the set will go to NJIT to start this whole thing off. And now as we look to draft, Sparks are the name of the game. So Spark of Focus will go to Zentaro. Unstoppable for Asher. That will certainly be a problem, as we've seen how much Asher's been able to brute so much attention up in the face of NJIT.
Yeah, Atlas opting for the cast to last, and which is honestly just a very safe bet, especially when you're already using your ultimate, more so just for that healing to keep your Asher alive. But a very strong swing out the gates will get 1 goal barrier off of NJIT, and now we do see Atlas sort of bouncing it back. Mako doing a good job of controlling it, and now it's in that dangerous Zentaro's hands, who's had so much influence, but Asher able to get it for a second.
Oh, wow.
Does go down, but is able to get the score.
Yeah, great timing there to get the strike before going down, and I'm not even sure that we were really expecting that to go in, or even that Blue Blazing was expecting that to go in, but you certainly take what you can get. The coordinated emotes, as always, certainly sending a message that UTD meteorites are here to play.
And man, are they putting in the effort, putting in the work, but the Atlas is feeling the pressure right now, as there are Blabos all over the field, and they will score 1 point, bringing it back 1-1.
Yeah, great mix-up there to just keep everybody on their toes, right? Make sure you're paying attention, and that time the heck you goalie for UTD was just a little too late, and obviously that's hard, right? That's a big ask. That was very, very fast, but ultimately that one sneaks past him, and we have a goal in favor of NJIT, but the goal barrier goes down, and now with a core flip on this Now, as we, man, I hate how much I say Now and there's a character name Now. It's really throwing me off. But yes, I mean, core flips and energy all around certainly favoring this NJIT squad. Blue Blazing fighting for his life once again. The Now heal misses, so Blue Blazing still staggered and has to play this carefully, and certainly getting thrown around, right? There comes the evade to try to survive, and now no longer staggered, but
yeah, Juno able to control the core, get it towards the Zentaro, using the core flip to then get the 2nd goal barrier off of the UTD meteorites. But now we are seeing the Mako ult send it back. Atlas having to use the core flip, and Blue Blazing just living on a prayer, but he is able to make it back towards the center of the stage and is starting to heal up just a little bit. A good Zentaro ulti, but an Atlas ulti to return, and it is, I mean, Blue Blazing's back at full health.
yeah, and wow, great bounce straight into a well-placed Blavo will result in a very fast and clean goal from NJIT, but it's clear that NJIT has a plan and they're not exactly trying to hide it. Blue Blazing, this Asher needs to go. So the whole plan of attack is to beat down on this Asher as much as possible until she is dead, and then try to, or at least basically dead, and try to capitalize then. But I mean, if any of you at home were able to watch the last series, it's very similar to what we saw UCLA try to do against Lakeland, and while it certainly had its moments, it was not quite enough in the end. So we will see if it's enough for NJIT, but for now, up 1-0 in this game. Certainly seems like it's working.
Yeah, and I like what we just saw from Storm, who was able to give up the 1 goal barrier, but get a very good bounce to secure a sort of position. But Blue Blazing able to get the shot back into the goal barrier, as now we do see Zero trying to get that last hit, but a good Atlas bubble will just prevent any sort of shenanigans, and a core flip to boot. So now we do see Asher trying to throw it all, but is not able to get the final hit. But, Mako unable to get that hit, and the core goes in for the goal. It is 2-2.
Yeah, very strong strike, launching that up higher than I think we were expecting, and certainly higher than Mako was expecting, as just a little too late, not able to get there in time. And now another goal barrier down, right? 2-2. This is a big point for both sides, as UTD looking to tie this game, but NJIT really looking to break it open. So we shall see if Blue Blazing is able to stay alive, able to keep this pressure that we've been seeing this entire game, right? Using abilities to try to get kills there, but missing. Now, Asher not as big of a threat for the next couple seconds, but we will see now. Same deal. Atlas's cooldowns are starting to rack up as he's now left on an island. Look at how clumped this UTD roster is. Atlas goes down now with a great save, but it's not enough as a bounce finds right into Zentaro's hands, and they're able to punch that one in and pull a 2-0 lead in this game.
I loved the way Zentaro bounced it to himself, passing just to make sure that Atlas would use his abilities on just principle, right? You throw them out, and you have to throw them out early, which means that Zentaro is able to just bait out the option very easily, and that will offer so much and brings all of the UTD players close together, which means Mako was able to walk up, get a very nice ultimate going. And now, as we look at these awakenings, Zentaro is 3 sparks, Chris. He is entering the Avatar state and is going to be a problem as this match continues.
Yeah, power, stagger, and cooldown rate are certainly good things to have. And if they're all sparks and stacking off each other, that feels great. You said it, an Avatar state is on its way. And so we shall see if, once again, is that enough to deal with the Asher? Do you start to take your attention away from Asher? I mean, now you have the power to really beat on her. Like, it's, I don't know, we will see, but not as much damage as we've seen historically so far this round.
Yeah, we do see a little bit racking up onto the now, but the healing has been so nice for both sides as Atlas is trying to knock it away from the goal barrier, but now goes down from a Zentaro ultimate, and we do see the power play begin. The core flip used, but Atlas using the barrier, able to push it back, but the goal barrier still goes down as the pressure is still on.
Yeah, and Asher able to stuff that one right through the Mako, and a core flip comes out. A great save from Juno there, and almost a great shot on the goal barrier from a well-placed bot from now. And unfortunately, all that amounting to nothing for UTD, as they're still looking to get that one pesky goal barrier down after so many shots, shot after shot. Zentaro looking to set up himself, but not quite enough that direction either, as we stay just on this bottom half of the map. Strike after strike, both teams looking for any form of possession to really set up a good attack, but nothing yet, as now Atlas has an opportunity to set up a play. A wild bounce, and Atlas now forced to use his core flip. A staggered Asher finds a hole and gets the goal barrier down and the goal open. Asher still fighting for her life, and she will ultimately lose that fight, going down, and numbers in favor of NJIT with possession, but a great play and disruption from now to find a goal down a player. Very, very well done there from Cloak Oak.
Yeah, the Now has been moving so incredibly fast, having not only the Spark of Health, but the Spark of Agility, which has been adding so much on top of the speed barrier in the middle. I mean, that character has been able to keep up with a Juno and a Zentaro who already have mobility built into their kit. And so with that, I really like what I'm seeing from Cloak Oak. It's just going to be a matter of, is it going to be enough? You do have the lead to start this off, but you are climbing a very big uphill battle.
Yeah, and ultimately a great stuff there from Atlas, able to protect his goal barrier for a very long time, but will lose it in the end. Now Zentaro in a one-on-one, now able to run back and help out just a little bit. But possession in favor of UTD for the moment, as once again I find myself saying a staggered Asher fighting for her life will lose once more, as a core flip sends the core all the way to the opposite corner of the map for a Juno waiting with open arms, as a great leap will find a clean angle to the corner of the goal.
That was incredibly well timed, taking out the Asher, because the Atlas ult was still on the field. Castellas made it linger for so incredibly long, but a really well-placed timing did mean that Asher would not respawn, and now 2 goal barriers are already going down, but Atlas does have the core flip, is forced to use it right there. Mako able to get a little bit of tempo going. Juno helping out a little bit, trying to get a little bit of that pressure off of the Mako, as we do see Zentaro trying to position just a little bit further forward, but Blue Blazing able to get it past the Juno, and because of that is really trying to keep this game alive.
Yeah, and man, the plan is so clear for NJIT, right? Beat down on Asher and just feed the Zentaro. This Juno's doing a great job of waiting for opportunities and finding the opportunities when they appear to try to get through the UTD midfield and find a way to get it upfield for your Zentaro to do the rest of the work. Because when it gets down to the right side of the field, from our perspective, Zentaro's able to finish the job and has yet to show any reason to not believe that. And so as we now see the energy start to build up in favor of NJIT, we'll see core flips coming out very soon, and with an empty net, 2 core flips in your face, Atlas puts a wall up and survives for now. A slightly uncoordinated attack there from NJIT to use both core flips, but we will see still very threatening, as 1 goal here for NJIT will do the job. Atlas able to survive for right now, surviving this onslaught of shots, still getting out. Lots of Blabos appear, most have been squashed, and now here comes the UTD offense, right? Oh no, they lose possession. There's an opportunity, but a strike shot is able to send it right back to his team. The goal barrier goes down, and UTD needs to score soon to keep their hopes alive in this first game here, or else NJIT still threatening to go up 1-0 in the series, and that will do it. A cannon coming out of the Zentaro to pull the last goal right when they needed it. An MVP going to the midfield Juno, like I said, just finding ways to feed the Zentaro, who would finish the job.
I mean, Blabos all over the place, goals left and right. I do believe that the Juno deserves it for this one, because not only are you getting tons of shots, the high shots in the game, you also had the most damage with these Blabos. 1-2 punch Juno to start things off, and I mean, you could see the value, right? You throw the blob out, and then if your opponent steps on it, their health chunks.
It hurts a lot. Yeah, it's a very deceptively commanding presence to have a Juno with 1-2 punch and really any damage-enhancing awakenings, right? Because those Blabos really can. I mean, you kind of just want to step on them to get out of the way, but before you know it, you're taking a significant chunk of your health bar for doing nothing. Yeah. So, I mean, we see the effects of it there. All around, I mean, commanding showing from NJIT, although those sets did seem very closer than the final score appeared.
I agree. It took a little bit for UTD to really find their footing, but once they did, they commanded a lot of the space, and a lot of it just came down to the core possession. The Juno throwing out the Blabos and really commanding that space definitely was a factor that just kind of shook things up a little bit, but potentially we might see it banned this game, and that means that control would be either lost or forced onto a different character, potentially the Estelle that was banned last time. We will have to see.
Yes, and as we load quickly into our second map here, it will be Gates of Obscura, and Centauro will be the ban from UTD Meteorites. So, Estelle is up, and it certainly looks like we are going that direction as NJIT will lock in their first character being the Estelle, another Mako once again, and an Asher mirror matchup will be the name of this game as we load into, I believe, our first time seeing Gates of Obscura here from Shenandoah.
Yes, and while I love this map to pieces because you get some really clever, creative shots, there is also a lot of pressure on your goalie to keep an eye on not only where the core is, where you think it's going to be, but there's a gate on the other side of the map that could potentially cause problems, as we see there. Heck, you already losing 2 of the barriers, but one of them is returned on the other side as the Asher for NJIT is doing a good job of just keeping up that pressure. Atlas forced to use the evade, and the core is going up to the top of the goal.
Yeah, and Blue Blazing getting caught way too close to the to the blast zone there, as we see everybody taking Among Titans to start, right? All kinds of different size variations are going to throw this game off, but we see the effects of these portals and the strategies once again from both sides, now very similar to each other.
Oh my
and
goodness.
It's Asher. That's the strategy. I mean, an Asher right in your face, winning strike wars, because that's what this character does. Whoever can maintain possession of this core and get it to the opposing side of the field for long enough to let their Asher just do her job is going to find a lot of success.
I mean, here we are once again, UTD this time pushing it forward, and the Asher in the right place. There goes one of the barriers, and the core flings to the other side, but Mako sending it back through the barrier, having to use the core flip, but barely misses, which means that Blue Blazing is able to get a good shot off to close that barrier, and now the goal is open, but the core is falling onto the side of UTD, which means that the pressure is going to be falling on again, but if your Asher is your key strategy and the one for NJIT is low, then what do you have going for you?
Yeah, and that was really interesting because that was kind of a Hail Mary shot. I don't think Blue Blazing had to use the core flip there, but opting to take a really long shot at an open corner of the goal was very, very close and almost worked out. Unfortunately, does not, and Blue Blazing will go down shortly after, so probably a good thing that we used that core flip there, but nonetheless, right, this Atlas certainly holding his ground with still 2 goal barriers up, but right as I say that, one will go down, and the core flip straight to Blue Blazing. Great coordination, and Blue Blazing ready to receive that pass and punch that one in. That was gorgeous.
Yeah, and here we are once again. We saw in the last round that NJIT was able to really keep their pressure going, but once UTD found their footing, they really started to keep up the pressure and made this game incredibly close. And we're seeing it once again. 1 point on to Blue Blazing. It's just going to be a matter of really keeping that tempo going, as we do see the core is now on the top of the field. But will they be able to get it past this drum? Because this beat will still go on. 1 barrier goes down. The core flip is burned. And the beat is not enough, as now we see Asher passing it through the portal, but is going to send it back towards the Atlas, and that is the last thing you need right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's exhibit A of get it to your Asher and give her time, right? The longer that goes on, the more likely your Asher is to win it. Now with the goalie down and a bad bounce for Blue Blazing, almost screws up the play, but the power play goes on, and they are able to capitalize as UTD Meteorites puts that one in and ties this set 2-2 to start map number 2.
And while we start this off, the now passing it back through the barrier, trying to get it back to Asher, the Blue Blazing, but 1 barrier instead goes down for the side of Atlas. 2 of them go down, and we're seeing that tempo.
Oh my lord!
While we have seen UTD, when they have their footing, do incredibly well when you play this explosive game plan, and we saw it just there with the Estelle. It was too quick, Chris. 1, 2, and a goal to bring them up. NJIT NJIT up 1-0.
Yeah, and I think they really just caught Atlas off guard, right? This whole game has been Asher's. We've been talking about it since the start. But all of a sudden, Estelle comes out swinging and cannot miss, and before you know it, your goal's open, and she's lasering on crazy angles off your own goal doors while it's still opening. So a great play there by NJIT to punch that one away and pull up once again 1-0 in this game. Draft ultimately going a little strange, right? Strange options for everybody. Nobody particularly comfortable, but I like what I see. I think everybody made the best with what they had.
It felt like a lot of rather picking for your strengths, more so to deny, as we do see now go down. Atlas just a little bit too slow trying to get that ulti off, but one barrier for one barrier, and frankly that is perfectly okay as it goes barely past the second. There it is. 2 barriers going down. Asher dash for the side of NJIT is on cooldown at least for another couple of seconds, but the pressure is already there, and when you have that shield up, one small blast will keep everyone locked for just a second for the core to pass.
Yeah, very, very well done once again by, I mean, I can't say it enough. Just give your Asher time, and this Estelle has been doing a great job of knowing her role and not trying to do too much, right? Just kind of feeding the core to your Asher on a silver platter and keeping it on your side of the field, right? We see it now with, once again, like, now doing a very similar job with Cloco trying the same thing with Blue Blazing, but it just hasn't worked out quite the same. As Estelle just has such a ranged presence and such great zone control that it's nearly impossible to get it away from NJIT's Asher once it's there.
Oh yeah, but not only that, I mean, we're just seeing how commanding this character has been a force since this map has been released, where people were picking a lot of options to just cover space, to really lock the core down in these corners. And while, yes, the goal barriers have changed to allow a little bit more of an avenue, it doesn't change the fact that there is a giant wall in your face. And so now, as we just continue to see the core in Asher's hands, whichever Asher it is, it doesn't matter because they will continue to build up that pressure, as we do see now the core falling onto the side of NJIT, and Blue Blazing is the one who's trying to keep up the pressure but won't be able to, as now the NJIT Asher is able to keep that going. One good dash will keep Atlas locked for just long enough to get the other goal barrier, and now it is an open net.
Yeah, and both of these goalies really doing a good job of just absorbing the Asher pressure, right? They're starting to settle in, really plant their feet because they know what's coming, right? It's been the same thing every time, except for that one Asher, or Estelle goalie, excuse me. But once again, Asher finding herself closer to the goal than UTD's goalie, right? This is very one-dimensional, and it's working great for NJIT, but UTD just unable to capitalize on their moments, right? When Asher has the core, we just haven't seen it go through, right? That was a great clear from NJIT's goalie to get it away from Blue Blazing and maintain the one goal barrier left. I mean, it's similar strategies, but it's not being executed to the same level.
Yeah, and I mean, just look, Storm has been doing an amazing job of really trying to keep that pressure away, as we do see Mirmeg try and just blast the Now, saying you are not allowed to be there for even half a second. One strong Asher shield blast does get Atlas incredibly close to the blast zone, but won't be enough, as we do see Asher using the ultimate to try and space it out again. Very nice Estelle shot, not only with the ability, but also with the core strike. Both shots adding so much value. NJIT showing that they did not come here to play, they came here to win.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, this looks very, very commanding, right? NJIT looking so comfortable with these portals, with this map, with this style of play, right? Taking it to UTD on their own map. So, yet to see an awakening picked. Here we go, as everybody starts to pick around the same time. It will be a hot shot for NJIT's Asher, which is very interesting considering how short-ranged she usually is, but not bad at all.
I think the idea is that when Asher is hitting the core, it is generally to guarantee the barrier, which means that you're hitting the core with those abilities anyway, which means that the cooldown is just going to keep getting reduced rapidly, and also just adding a little bit more momentum in the long run. But also, I mean, look at how much pressure that Blue Blazing is putting on right now. They were down a player, and they were still able to keep things going.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, the strategy that I've been preaching ad nauseum is really starting to click for UTD Meteorites, right? Not that they couldn't do it this whole time, but that was almost a flawless execution. Now, that core flip hurts a lot. Blue Blazing, unfortunately, missing that core flip, and with an open net, you'd certainly love to get more value out of that. But UTD's goal is now open, and all of a sudden, you've got an Asher coming the other way, and that is textbook, right? Bouncing off yourself, off your wall. There's only so much Atlas can do, and saving his core flip there, might not have noticed he got it, because I'm pretty sure he got it pretty much right as it was going in. But, I mean, little things like that matter, right? The great teams are going to take advantage of that, and now we see NJIT able to find another kill from a UTD player stepping just a little too close to the side, right? It's happened one too many times, and I keep saying it, the good teams are going to take advantage of that, and NJIT is absolutely showing that they are one of those good teams.
Yes, and we do see Atlas knocked incredibly close to the goal, but him using the ultimate to stay alive, get some health back, but it won't be enough when Asher is still striking it in your face. Mirmeg doing a really good job of just keeping the pressure going.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very, very impressive to watch. I certainly don't want to downplay the strategy of Asher, right? I kind of make it sound so simple of just keep going forward and eventually it'll work. It's not easy to execute, and Mirmeg has been doing it with very few errors, right? It's been very clean to watch, and we see that with the score, right? I mean, the game is telling the story for itself. It's not working both directions, and Mirmeg's a big part of that. They're playing a very clean game as now Blue Blazing goes down again, and numbers advantage for NJIT. However, NJIT's goal is also open.
Yeah, using the drum beat to push the core away and get it to your Estelle, and now it's falling once again back into the Asher's hands, and you're in that corner, that dangerous corner, but the Asher using the recovery item, using that awakening to its fullest, and is able to stay alive, not easily pushed off of the field.
Oh yeah, and a few too many passes to themselves as Mirmeg ends up leaving the core open for now to just keep feeding Blue Blazing, and like I said, eventually one of them's going to go in, right? A great find there for UTD to stay in this game, right? On an elimination goal. One more goal from NJIT will put this all away. So UTD Meteorites, I mean, fighting for their tournament lives right now as they are now finding one goal barrier, and here we come, right? It's, well, never mind. I was going to say, like, they're keeping the core right where it needs to be. They find a second goal barrier, even down a player, but again, down a player hurts a lot, especially in situations like this when the core gets away from you, but now down a player feels great if you're UTD, because down a player means down a player for the other team. So we will see, right? Two barriers still up. Asher looking for a little bit of anything, but unfortunately for UTD Meteorites, the Asher's right back, right? That power play didn't seem to last very long.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean, we've seen where when UTD has their moments, they can really keep it going, but they just had a couple of small slip-ups, and a very nice shot, a very good direct shot through the portal will lead to a 3 points and a victory for the side of Blue.
Yeah, and NJIT really able to, I mean, what a way to put that away, right? With a goalie goal being how that all ends. That whole series felt so close, but I believe, thinking back on it, did UTD Meteorites get a set in there?
I don't think they did.
Those were both 3-0s, so that's very deceptive, right? UTD absolutely took it to NJIT. This was a very close series, but ultimately NJIT coming out on top, and we see, I mean, all those stats we just had the opportunity to look at. I mean, that's the damage matters, those redirect matters. I mean, we see it's all in the Asher.
Yeah.
It's so simple, and I don't want to downplay how hard that is and how much work those midfielders need to put in. Both sides playing that so well, but ultimately NJIT just squeaking out a few more times than UTD was able to do.
And I think it tells the story, right? Because you have this now who definitely had their moments, but when compared to Estelle, there's a reason why Estelle and Asher had more shots on goal, and it's because Estelle's range to control it was so incredibly solid, incredibly sound, and just had this commanding presence overall. But in terms of now, yes, the character can do the same, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of planning ahead of time. And so because of that, you can't always be ahead of it, especially in a game that moves this quickly. So as we see NJIT doing just an amazing job at closing these out, it was incredibly close, and UTD definitely had a moment to bring it back. But as you said, they were both 3-0s despite the fact that UTD had moments of sunshine.
Right, and that hurts because this is unfortunately loser's side of the tournament, which means that although this was so close, that's it
Yeah.
for UTD Meteorites, and that's such a tough way to go out. But at the end of the day, that's what this tournament is. That's what this tournament structure is for, right? NJIT was the better team today. They played a very, very clean game and won both of those games pretty commandingly because of it. And so ultimately NJIT will advance and UTD Meteorites tournament is over.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do, Chris? Look at this Asher pressure.
know.
It's so much. It's just commanding. One after another of Asher being in that corner, both sides, and just getting it past the goalie, just keeping him stunned for a second. And that's all you need when all of your strikes are sending the core around at top speed.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's just so hard to handle, and it was so hard to handle for both goalies, right? I mean, I've said it so many times. It was the same strategy both ways, and both goalies did a great job dealing with the pressure and trying to absorb as much of it as you can and just kind of delay the inevitable. But once again, I mean, like, the good teams are going to punish you for little things, and the little things favored NJIT today. So we appreciate you watching with us. I believe that will do it for us for now. Be sure to stay tuned because we're going to take a quick break. Like I always say, stay tuned with Omega Strikers action. Be sure to check out the B stream, see what they're up to, and we will be back soon with some more Omega Strikers CCL playoff action.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the CCL Season 2 Playoffs. Today we have UCLA versus Longhorn Gaming, going to be a heck of a match. We're hopping into Game 2 here, because Game 1 was played a little bit ahead of time. But I am AJ Cannon, I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Ryan Calypso. I'm super excited to get into this. Longhorn and UCLA, both very solid teams that have shown today, and this is going to be the match to decide who makes it to Day 2. So whoever wins this match is going to be heading into Day 2 in loser's bracket. Whoever doesn't is out.
Yeah, and so on the team of UCLA, we actually have Balex subbing in for Water Fury, who could not make it apparently. And so in Game 1, we actually saw the Longhorns took it, which I was not expecting personally, but kudos to the Longhorns for taking that. I mean, 3Z, Breezy, and Gramella are not players you just walk over. So really well done by them in Game 1. Looking forward to see how that happens in Game 2, if they sweep out the series, or if we can get that actual full Game 3 set. Because I know that UCLA, they can do some magic. They got some skills.
Yeah. UCLA has been super dominant throughout the regular season, and Longhorn's kind of been a bit of a sleeper pick. They've been punching well above their weight class today and through the season entirely. Like, there's some players who don't have quite the same level of recognition that Gramella and 3Z might have, but they've been able to clearly show that they've been able to hold their own against players of that caliber.
Yeah, and
it's going to be very interesting
to
watch.
Definitely more than held their own. So, looking forward to that. To briefly cover the stats from Game 1. In Game 1, UCLA scored but a single goal throughout the entire time. So it was a sweep in sets, not a total flawless game, but not an easy game either.
No. And moving into Game 2 on Atlas Lab, we're going to see a Now and Juno ban coming out. Looks like Mr. Flambeau's hovering the rune. They've been shown to be quite effective on that earlier today. Notably, in the first match of the day, they knocked out UTD Meteorites with that rune.
Wow. Now, rune is definitely a pick that you don't really see as often, but when you see it, it's usually on someone who is very confident on that rune. So I don't have the stats in front of me, but I imagine Rune has one of those like surprisingly high win rates. Not because he's necessarily the greatest character, but because the people who play him well. So definitely something to look forward to there.
Yeah, it looks like we had an extra special fight or flight start. So we're going to be seeing some extra ultimates coming out. Yeah.
Fight or Flight is also one of those that's really good on so many different characters. That's actually a bit of a hard pick sometimes. But it is both very, very solid awakenings there, so it'll be good to see how they use them in this first set. So far, one barricade going down on UCLA's side for the side of Longhorn Gaming. And so
Flambeau holding down.
They have the lead for now. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Flambeau able to just use Rune to delay that first barrier from being taken for quite a while. Able to let Maple Leaf come up with some more cooldowns. Able to hold the other one.
Yeah. You see Gramella looking very low there, but does manage to pick up the health orb there. Black Hole gets exploded to clear the field there. Luna dashing across the top there. The Azure primary sinks it just around the Rune thing. And we have a Banish going out to pause the game there. 3Z takes a hit from the Zentaro dash, but barrier goes down. Flambeau able to secure that. Use the Corpus Commando to get it through. The Luna ult is not. Thankfully doesn't hit it backwards there, but almost did. And 3Z takes that first barrier. Corpul's right in front of the goal. Safety, Rune Pillar not necessary. But that rocket from 3Z sinks it down there right to the bottom, right behind that anomaly. So well played by 3Z there.
Yeah. Perfect tangent around the Rune Pillar there. Game gets really scary with these characters in overtime because Rune Pillar's pink without any additional awakenings. And we also see just like, as we saw, the rockets just able to send at ludicrous speeds across the map. Able to find like some barriers that you might not expect to get taken, and even find a core speed kind of cheese goal, if you would.
Yeah, and especially as well in overtime, it's a lot harder to really follow the core But these players are doing an excellent job of that. With those red cores, it is so difficult to do something on your own. You have to rely on your teammates to catch the cores, because you're probably not going to be able to reposition to get it. As I say, the 2 barricades go down on the side of UCLA. Goal is open. Longhorn Gaming potentially going to strike back. Core flip out of Grimella gets a double barricade. Now both goals are open. And Nicky Middleton is just going to send it right down the bottom there with the Zentaro primary. The second hit of it just going right through Asher. So holding off the the color there for a second, that was just really well played, and we tie it up 1-1.
Yeah, Longhorn's definitely been shown that they can handle it like under the pressure of like overtime and core speeds. They've just kind of been able to be in the right spot when they need to be, and able to find these kind of cheeky angles that get around Balix on the Asher.
Now we see 2 barricades going down, only 1 inside of UCLA, so they're still strong for now. Asher ult is going to get just absorbed by that Zentaro's core flip. Luna ult comes out. The Zentaro is elusive, but the core is not, so it's going to hit it backwards. Black Hole there almost kills 3ZB off the edge of the map, and Nicky Middleton able to shove through the barricade, but dies for that surface. The Anomaly is going to be able to keep it on the side of the map for a little bit longer. Flambeau doing such a good job of just keeping control in this 2v3, but 3Z Breezy finally going to free it, but it gets sent right back with a strike shot. 3Z Breezy just bounces around the goal. The Luna ult, and then, the Molten Bolt from Jakar going to sink it in after the beautiful corner shot by Grimella, pumping it up and setting up the shot there. Bring it up 1-2.
Yeah, incredible patience on that. Like, just able to wait for the perfect moment and then fire off that ultimate and find the angle there. Buying your time, waiting for to get around your opponents.
Yeah, and they're going to take another barricade. They have the momentum right now, but Nicky Middleton is going to try and use Zentaro to stop that. Grimella playing wonderful midfield here, though. Sort of that second goalie when you need it, and the second forward when you need it, not being too much in too many places at once. Just right where you need it, and no longer not getting away anywhere. Going to be banished there, potentially set up for a kill. Very low around the black hole, but he's going to go up to the top side of the map to get that healing orb, blocked off by the barricade. 3Z and Nicky Middleton taking a ton of damage from that black hole, and that is going to be Nicky Middleton getting killed. Really well done there. The anomalies from Flambeau have been on point, though. The strike shot misses from Maple Leaf, but the Drakkar shotgun is a little too early. That Mako second, you just have to hold down so well. Strike shot from Asher, going to keep it forward, passing up to 3Z Breezy. A full team play there, using everyone on the team to be able to force it through, and they're going to need to keep doing that because Longhorn Gaming is putting up a fight.
Yeah, UCLA just being able to navigate the opponent's Zen ult and use it in their favor there, because usually when Zen is ulting, you're kind of stalling the core and hoping that your team can adapt to the situation better than the opponents, but UCLA just right on top of it, able to use the Zen ultimate for their own scoring potential.
Yeah, really sad here seeing 3 sparks at once: Spark of Leadership, Spark of Strength, and Spark of Resilience. It means that you will get no more than 3 sparks total if you get the remaining 2 that are in the pool. So 3 sparks is still good, but it's not as great as it could be, so a little sad seeing that in the first set. So not going to be as much of a sparks game. But Unstoppable going the way of the Asher, just to try and minimize some of the shenanigans that can happen here. The Nicky Middleton ult.
Triple
not
banish.
Hear it, but yeah, that triple banish. Just hit it, putting the game on pause, letting them take the bottom barricade. These anomalies able to keep the core on the side of the field for a little bit longer, but it unfortunately bounces back over Maple Leaf. Grimella is passing on the bottom, uses a shotgun to bounce it off the wall and into the barricade there. Maple Leaf was not expecting that, a little bit too far ahead. And the accidental black hole there. Flambeau with the sorry hit it into the black hole, which ricocheted into the barrier. Grimella's looking very low, but is still fighting, trying to keep it forward to 3Z Breezy, who's on that forward. Luna is able to get the dash strike redirect right into the top of the goal there. Maple Leaf just a fraction of an inch too low there. So that is going to be 1 set, 1 point up for UCLA. Game for Longhorn.
We do see a bit of an interesting draft coming out there, because as you mentioned, like a lot of the sparks are gone, but we're also seeing like the interaction between Happy Star and Scared Man, extra special and specialized training. Flambeau having to deny specialized training from the Luna, who already had extra special.
And
Rocket
Breezy did not like that deny, apparently. Just gonna kill him for it.
Yeah, got revenge for it.
And these Luna ults, even without that specialized training, still just hit so hard. Not hard enough to kill, but enough to really chunk you down and get you a surprise rocket. Balix missed the dash, goes too far afield, and Nicky Middleton can just really capitalize on that. But unfortunately, the Zentaro dash not able to secure that core there. Molten Bolt hitting everybody almost on one gaming in the core. And the banish on the core gonna hit the black hole there. Goes through it. I have never seen that interaction before. That is actually hilarious. Now someone has to be the one to trigger the black hole. Grimella with the tech. The dash
Yeah, able
through
to
Black
elusive
Hole
out of the
strike.
explosion. What an interesting sequence that happened there.
So if you banish the core and it hits the black hole, the game does not like that. Fair enough. But there we go, Flambeau taking care of it. No more of that interaction here. Ooh, the red core in this overtime you're talking about earlier, it's going so fast. Even the dribbles are almost impossible. Ooh, Nicky Middleton just... Okay, is able to secure up there with dash and strike, but was a pixel on that bottom corner, which shot it back up to the Asher. So took a little bit more effort than was expecting, but did get the goal in the end for 1-1 game.
Another huge pickup from that draft was Nicky Middleton being able to find the explosive entrance, arguably the best awakening on Zentaro. Banish also forcing out a flip from Freezy there, and then the secondary saving the top barrier. Elusiving the Molten Bolt, Flambeau playing for life, while Nicky Middleton just kind of wins in the opponent's half of the map.
Yeah, it's that dash range you were talking about. Explosive entrance is so good on Zentaro. It's the impact, but it's also that dash range is so important to be able to do so many things with Zentaro. And that's 3Z Breezy getting another kill on Flambeau here. Looking to turn this into a full-on kill comp. Balek's going to be able to hit the strike shot there. Ricochet off the black hole up to Grimella, but Nicky Middleton's going to be the one to handle it. Balek's able to clear it out, but right into the hands of Mr. Flambeau. Misses the banish. Passes down to Nicky Middleton, but the Molten Bolt interception there. Balek is going to be able to potentially defend that. There we go. Grimella's helping, and 3Z Breezy on top. Core flip is denied. Luna ult is going to shoot it back to goal there. The ult from Zentaro trips it up and shoots it to the bottom, and Balek is not able to get there in time. Grimella's also
able to
far away,
find the
so
corner angle.
that unfortunate Luna ult backwards there, and then the really weird angle on the Zentaro ult, able to ricochet it down to the bottom, just right in between Alex and Grimella. Well played.
Yeah, and Cage coming out there, making sure that the Luna ultimate doesn't like come out at a weird angle, just making sure that you know exactly where it is. Looks like an attempt for the double barrier there, unable to find both, and in fact comes out as a trade. And 3Z just consistently able to pick off Flambeau and leave Nicky Middleton to just kind of hold against the world here, while Maple just tries to not let them score until we get a respawn from Flambeau.
Great use there of Nicky Middleton, bite out Zentaro, using the elusive of it. Grimella actually dies on the bottom side of the map, so it's 3Z Breezy now in the 2v3. Can potentially try and get a kill to even up. They're just going to try and hang on here. Balex's primary now be able to core, and Nicky Middleton primary there on Zentaro, going to be able to just sink it right through the Asher. Again, it's a really powerful ability, that one, for sinking through people. You hit them and at the same time. It's a similar way to Estelle. And, ooh, beautiful ricochet there, just keeping it tied up in that corner, not able to clear it. Grimella putting it up, and then 3Z Breezy just being in their face with the dash, with the strike, with the rocket, just using everything in the kit to get that. So it's tied up 2-2.
Yeah. I counted 4 independent core hits there. That's very difficult to save against when you have a Rocket Child coming in at Mach 9, and you also have Drek with a shotgun strike, shotgun combo. It's very difficult to deal with all of that pressure when like these two characters can just collapse so efficiently on you.
And you can see they're just 3Z and Grimella, just experts at this sort of stuffing mechanic of just getting it through somebody there, using the abilities at the perfect time, the perfect predictions. The Luna ult is not able to sink it in the goal, but it's going to make it really fast and really uncomfortable for goalie there. And the Asher ultimate there, going to keep it there as well with the Molten Bolt missing the core, but hitting Flambeau, I believe. And I think it was the strike and shotgun enough to get it through there. So I didn't.
Yeah,
a
a couple of just really unfortunate bounces, just always on the edge, barely outside of Flambeau's strike range, unable to get a good touch there, and just kind of left in the mix of an Asher ult and a Drekar who just picks up quick strikes, going to become a midfield menace now.
Yeah, so many good awakenings here. You have quick strike on Drekar is amazing there, as you were saying. The hot shot on Luna is decent, but it's also a really good deny onto that rune, who just uses it so well. Twin drives in Taro, we were talking about dashes already, really good. The built different on the Asher is really nice, and then the aerials on Maple Leaf just to get a little bit more range with the strike shot in the primary. Usually size is one of the better awakenings, but a little bit of projectile range on a map this big can also go a really long way, literally, into securing those goals.
Good neutral play coming out here from Longhorn, able to just find the core to each other and make sure that like the possession stays on their team. Unfortunate strike war there for 3Z, finds a barrier. Yep,
and that's 2 barriers to 1. This is again 2 sets to 0. So this is potentially the last set and we go to game 3, but not easily though. Nicky Millen really putting up a fight there. So many hits, but just was slightly off on one of them, but it's gonna be fine in the end. Mr. Flambeau on that midfield, passing it up to Zentaro. Just great play there. You have your forward in the goalie box, just hitting it in, and then you have your midfield backing you up. If they ever clear it away, you know that Rune's gonna get it.
Yeah, Mr. Flambeau has been finding just some really nice angles to get it right to Nicky Millen. Some super solid midfielding coming out here. Banish able to kind of force it into that corner and find one barrier. Looks like Miniland finding the pass. They've kind of switched roles here, but it works out here because Mr. Flambeau is able to find a strike war into that barrier. Unfortunately, Nicky Millen does die there. Flip saves one barrier. Flip economy is looking greatly in the favor of UCLA here. Looking to deny the double. Greeted a little bit there.
But almost hit the double in the end
Incredible
anyways
sequence.
with the slow core there. You have Easy Breezy up the top there now with the core. Flambeau's Anomaly is going to keep it in there, and the Banish is going to keep Grimella out of the field. But so far, the core is still out of goals. We're almost into overtime now, just another 10 seconds for it. Flambeau's got the core now dribbling up. Grimella steals the dribble. The Luna ult comes out. Really weird bounce in the corner there, but almost is a perfect setup for Grimella, but Maple Leaf is on top of these things. But the dash strike there with the red core, we are now in overtime as well, so more red cores expected. And we have a core flip out of Alex, has to be used there.
And the TP.
And the black hole hitting Grimella there. Grimella very low potential kill here and is dead now. And that is a Luna ult, can hit it backwards into the goal. The dash is off of the core. Hits Flambeau, but
Beautiful
not the core,
passes.
and that sets it up for Nicky Millen. And unfortunately, Rune can teleport, but Asher cannot. Has the dash, but it's usually not long enough to cover a lot of the situations, even if you do have it, so really well played there by Flambeau. Just the pass down to Nicky Millen, no greed there in this midfield, just setting it up for the forwarder, knowing that the Zentaro is just so good at shoving her.
Yeah, almost finding that double there. Printing a flip there with those pillar redirects in the corner. TP able to save the top barrier there. It's just about finding the opportunity here to get this to your brawler who has flipped here to look for the barrier. Flambeau having to retreat and find the orb, burning the flip because they can't die to that Luna ult. Unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, death is a 15-second stun there, and you can't really afford that in a game like this. They can really capitalize. Whichever team gets a kill can really capitalize on it, as they have shown. And so Grimella has to dodge as well. Thankfully, doesn't have the core, but doesn't waste the entire bar of energy, but it's still quite the tax. Strike shots being used, primary as well from Balex. Has the core, just going to hold it for a half second there to try and clear it a little bit better. Grimella able to shotgun it back and forth with the Maple Leaf on the goalie. Thankfully, the core does not go past Maple Leaf. Freezy Breezy is able to catch the core at the top of the map. Shoots a rocket right into Flambeau there. He is very low on health now. Has the rocket, one sliver of health for the stagger, but Banish onto Rune's going to free him up for a second. Gets the core at the top, and Grimella's down at the bottom. Red core's out of the field. Balex is going to use the core flip there just to clear it faster. Nicky Millen has the core on the bottom, uses the ult, but a red core is going to send it right to the black hole. Flambeau just dribbling it up the top. Nicky Millen's primary missing. The Luna ult is going to hit Maple Leaf with the core into the top corner. It's going back and forth, and finally 3Z Breezy able to find that last barricade for UCLA. But a pass back and forth. Strike shot from Balex is not able to secure it in there, but it's going to the top. Maple Leaf strike shot is just a second behind. Unfortunate there.
Yeah, what a chaotic point. We saw Grimella just able to live for so long, distracting Nicky Millen, able to just waste a lot of their utility, so that when they eventually did die, there just wasn't enough pressure to get a point out of it. And then as soon as pink cores were coming out, it was just a matter of control, and KO found right there.
Yeah, you can see here that it definitely appears that UCLA is playing the kill comp better, and I think a lot of it is just because, as you were saying, Grimella is just so good at staying alive. Because they're both doing a lot of damage back and forth and hitting a lot of abilities, but Grimella's just seems to have infinite energy there to dodge. Yeah. The fact that the UCLA barricade is up here is almost a crime, and Balex is the culprit there, just keeping alive for so long. But the Mako Prison is going to keep it in the corner. Corporal Grimella is going to save it, send it all the way across. The strike shot is enough to save it, but Freezy's firing back. Use the ult, does not hit the core there. Nicky Millen dashing up to the top, passing it down to Grimella there, but also Grimella's looking pretty low here now. But picks up the orb and is fine again. Core flip right in front of the barricade isn't even enough to get it with Grimella and Balex on the field. Grimella's looking very low, picks up the orb, still staggered, but that is a barricade going down in favor of UCLA. It is now 1-0 barricades. Another kill goes down, this time onto Grimella. Pass down. Oh! That is Zentaro killed out of it. And that doesn't hit the barricade either! This barricade,
yeah, this
just
barrier
dodging
being alive,
it seems. Like, this barricade, I dub it Neo, it has just dodged every single course somehow, even they're 1 pixel away, able to last long enough for threes to get that dash into the final goal there. Well played there by UCLA. I don't know how Alex and Grimella did that, but that was incredible defense.
Just a complete cluster of abilities going up in the top right there, able to find a trade of barriers there, top one for each team. Now it's about converting for the second one, because the second one's always the one that matters. You can still win a point with 1 barrier up. Not the end of the world to lose 1. But that second one, that's what starts to make you vulnerable. And the second one goes down to Longhorn.
3Z is just so good at these dash strikes through people. It's like they're not even there. He hits the person with the stun and strikes through them, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Ramel looking very low, but was in the corner, so didn't die. Has a lot of energy. Black Hole's just gonna hit Nicky Middle and Flambeau there. Bit of friendly fire there, not even hitting anybody on UCLA. The Asher ult is going to force it away. Nicky Lindeland is dashing into the middle of the enemy team on very low HP and is potentially going to pay for it, but no, just a distraction. Flambeau gets the barrier, and now it is open barriers one side, tied up 2-2. So this is potentially the set. Nicky Lindeland's ult is going to whip, unfortunately. Goes back across, Molten Bolt hits, but so does the cage onto Grimella, who is stuck inside of there. Core flip out, but that is a dead Nicky Lindeland.
Ooh.
That is a core flip through the top side of the map. And that is a game.
We're going to game 3.
Mm-hmm. And that is, so game 1, which we unfortunately weren't able to witness, was 1 point for UCLA and a sweep in sets for Longhorn Gaming. The other way around now, pretty much. But still 5 goals for Longhorn Gaming. So pretty good for them. You can see there is a bit of a difference in the damage, but it's not actually that much. 3Z and Nicky Middleton fairly even in the damage. Balix and Grimella actually doing most of the damage difference there. And that's on your goalie and your midfield, who aren't usually as much the kill pressure, so they were more just setting it up, and you can see the 6 KOs on 3Z Breezy there. Just so much damage coming out from the midfield and the goalie, which I wasn't really expecting, but it makes sense. You set up the enemy that's brawling you in the goalie box, and then your brawler comes back, finds them at an inopportune angle, and is just there with any of one of Luna's crazy knockback abilities to just send you right off. So well played by both teams, but a better kill comp in the end from UCLA. So.
Yeah. We absolutely just saw, like, red team was able to utilize the black hole a lot more efficiently for their damage, and Grimella just able to not die, which was a huge thing. Just able to live on low health for such a long time, baiting out cooldowns and making sure that, like, the utility that Longhorn had just couldn't be used in terms of getting a goal.
Yeah.
There were so many times where Grimella was at very, very low health and then able to just keep on going. And this interaction right here was something else for sure. Grimella able to dig it out without popping center.
Yeah, really weird interaction there. That right there was almost heartbreaking for Longhorn Gaming. You could see that it hit the corner instead of going along the bottom, but in the end, Nicky Middleton's able to get a core flip into the goal. And that right there, yeah, so many different interactions, but 3Z Breezy somehow winning them all there and just so good there. Yeah. So there, yeah, the Molten Bolt hits the rune, which stuns him, so he can't actually defend. And it's just one of those things where if you control the players, you don't have to control the core. At the end of the day, the core is still the objective, but if you can keep the enemies from touching the objective, then that's all that matters. And so you can see the Zentaro is tied up trying to brawl the Asher and ends up losing most of his health or even dying in the process so many different times. And so even when it gets past the enemy forward, you have to contend with so many different distractions and getting stunned by enemy abilities, you can't even hit the core. So them going with the Dubu goalie here and Kazan and Rune, potentially the Luna ban coming out. After that last game, I completely rate that one. We might even see something like a specialized training coming out here if it's these 3 champions and they're banning Luna. We will see in a little bit. The Mako ban coming out as well, fair. Maple was really holding it down the Mako so many times. That game would have been a lot shorter without Mako in it, so well played there. The Dubu mirror, because of course we are on the previous patch, 3.3, so there are mirror matches allowed, no snake draft, no nothing like that. So the Dubu mirror match, potentially goalie, potentially not Dubu forward, is quite fun as well. You can see that coming out. But the now Asher Dubu versus the Kazan, the Dubu, and I forgot the character because we're on the spectator screen. It says Juliet, but I know it's not Juliet. Rune. because I remember.
Yeah, this is this is one of the maps that makes Rune Forward actually look like a pretty solid pick. It's generally considered a weaker option, but this is one of the maps that you can really make it work. And we do see the Dubu Forward, one of the hallmarks of a previous patch on Tycho, is just the ability to stuff a wall in your opponent's corner as a creation. And first point comes out real rapid fire from Flambeau.
What an unfortunate goal there, that sort of weird angle. Not quite the demon angle, it's right in the corner, but just off of it so it ricochets and then goes straight down right around Balix there. The now secondary is actually a really nice start there, but not able to secure it. That core went around the Rune Anomaly there, really surprising. Didn't look like
I feel that pain.
Yeah, that is just kind of the Rune pain in general. There Atlas as well with his secondary. You won't think there's a gap, and suddenly there is. A great sort of back and forth here this time. The 3Z Breezy with the just all of the Dubu abilities, able to use so many different times to stop the core, keep it in that corner, has the core now, but also low on health, so potential kill angle. It's going to be freed from that corner at long last. Flambeau gets knocked up a little bit by the Asher ult. Yep, double banish as well, but unfortunately not able to secure too much there. Here we go. Strike shot out of Alex and to keep it on the side of the field. The core flip parry from 3Z fails.
Yeah.
So it just goes right past him there, unfortunately. But go ahead, sorry.
You're on Longhorn side. Oh, flip, waits out. Nicky Middleton unable to capitalize off of Alex's flip. In fact, they lose enough pressure to lose their last barrier. And now we're in overtime. Core speed is going to become the deciding factor here. These drums get really unpredictable once the core speed comes out. Flip comes. Flop able to stop that from going in. Pink core off of a pillar. Flambeau finds the first or the second goal of the set one.
Yeah, that was really well played by Flambeau as well. Saw the strike shot incoming and he uses the barrier to stop that from happening, but far enough back that the strike shot hits it first. So just perfect timing by Flambeau there. And as a goalie, you don't really expect the strike shot to miss like that. And that's sort of Rune's biggest thing on offense, is that you can never really quite know where his pillars are coming in. So you have to really predict and be inside the Rune's head rather than actually respond to it. Corv going to secure one barricade, fine trade there. We have the now primary there, countered by the Dubu secondary, little roll there. Passing up to Flambeau there, after to get the barrier. Carmella dribbling into the drums there, use the secondary to try and dribble around 2-3 degrees, but it gets intercepted. We now have the core going red for just a second, and it passes up to Nicky Middleton, who's able to get the barricade. Core flip kills the Asher, a KO flip into the goal, and that is 3 points there in basically record time. Tied up 1-1 in games, and now up 1 in sets, and so far in this series, everyone who has taken a set has won the game. The losing team has not gotten a set this game a single time. So
super important that Mr. Flambeau. It's super important that Mr. Flambeau got first pick here, because they're able to deny this Monumentalist. That's a game-losing awakening if it comes on to now. Definitely very important that we were able to see that Longhorn's able to get a creation character in front of the now in this draft, and that's honestly a win condition that's just out of the hands of UCLA here.
Yeah, and also Monumentalist Rune is also really good on this map, especially because you can just block off the sides, block off the middle, above and below the drums if you need to. So you can really do a lot. I think you need Timeless as well to get the full block, but it's still a pretty powerful thing there. And 3Z Breezy already having the recovery drone proc there is unfortunate to say the least, 9 seconds into a round, into a set nonetheless.
Crazy secondary save coming out from Rune.
And Rune has really been on top of this sort of second goalieing, making sure that the barriers stay alive, and also being forward enough to do that. Ooh, Maple Leaf a little too far forward. Roll is not enough to get back there in time. The now arrow is going to shoot it up and around. The Anomaly is going to send it back. And that is Grimella almost dying there to the Kazan primary in his open 4. And that is 3Z
great stun from
the little Dubu dribble tech there. Strike into roll into strike again. So well played there, and sort of trips him up because they expect
able
to
to just mix
up
up timing. Just mixing up timing makes it very difficult to defend against when you don't know when the core is stunned, when the core is actually free, when the strike is up for your opponent. It puts you into a guessing game, and sometimes you just lose those.
Yeah. And that is what it takes a lot of the times to get to these high-level goalies, is just sort of playing out that mental game, because you won't necessarily win in a straight-up game. Ooh, that Dubu particle accelerator there, bouncing around all inside of itself, but not able to actually get the barrier. Really unfortunate how that broke up there. Breezy does have the core flip, so does Grimella. Neither going to be used just yet. They're going to hold on to it as long as possible. That is a kill going down to the Kazan. Not what you want to see for Longhorn Gaming, because it's supposed to be the other way around. Maple Leaf missing the core flip there, but does hit Breezy with a little stun. Great defense so
Great
far.
vertical
Breezy,
clear
Breezy.
there.
Yeah, it's banished, can't core flip, but a great barrier there from Grimella. And 3Z Breezy, no core flip necessary, just going to send it into goal there. Little unfortunate there, Flambeau actually using the anomaly on top of Maple Leaf. Usually you want to put that on the other side so that can cover the area the goalie isn't in. So a bit of miscommunication there on the positioning, but is what it is. Corflip coming out of Flambeau, bounces around the drum, but not able to secure it, and that is a now primary, just going to accelerate into the barricade there, but Maple Leaf able to get back in time to protect the second one. These rune anomalies are really great, but backfiring a little bit sometimes when it's on your side of the field, you can't clear it around. But Flambeau going to keep putting that forward pressure, is really low on health, so close to death, but does have that stagger swagger, which is going to keep him alive and in the game for a while. And Breezy going to use the core now finally and just waits for it to finish up, and that is going to be 1 set. No sweeps this time. Well, a sweep in the set, actually, 3-0. But no set sweeps here. Both teams getting it. We're in for at least 4 sets here, and that is a spark of leadership potentially going to that blue Dubu in Maple Leaf if it doesn't get denied by 3Z here. But 3Z also has the options of Fighter, Flight, Timeless Creator, Extra Special, Rapid Fire, Quick Strike, Blast Cannon, and Spark of Agility, all really good.
Just everything you could ever want here.
But that is a Timeless going to the now, which is really good. Denies the rune as well, but he gets to pick up Rapid Fire in exchange, so it's like you denied him one thing, yeah, it's really good, but also he gets more killers now. So quantity versus quality.
With Monumentalist, with Monumentalist gone now, really just cares about getting a little bit of size on those bombs. So like any little bit helps. So it's a good pickup for now, as well as a great deny for rune, because just double stacking that size could be detrimental. Able to find a kill with the Monumentalist.
The 10-second recovery drone on Breezy is becoming to be a bit of a pattern. He doesn't tend to die aside from that, so it didn't matter in the last set. But kind of funny that both times within 10 seconds that's going down. Ooh, finally!
Yeah, particle
accelerator. It goes strong there that time. He does get the barrier. Valex is able to get that save around, is able to clear it finally past that Kazan was there for so long, and that's passed right at the Breezy sinks it in. Wonderfully done. Flashing the Sad Boys logo there with Grimella. They're having a blast with the game. Even a thumbs up from Flambeau being a good sport. And they're making it a game. Yeah, another thing as well to say about the now primary. Oh, barricade goes down around there, and a double banish from Flambeau. As soon as I try to start speaking anything colored, the world happens, and that's a kill on a Flambeau as well. Valex playing up there, trying to leverage that 2v3 a little bit more, the power play. The now arrow is great, but not able to secure it. The bounce off the drum was crazy, but a Maple Leaf secondary clears it for just a second longer. Has the Corvum, is going to be forced to use it here. 3Z misses the counter flip, and as Valex going to hit it up to the top side with the secondary. Grimella is there, has core flip, so does Valex. They might have to use them here to clear it out because Kazan and Rune are just so strong there, but a secondary from now is going to do the trick. 3Z Breezy playing with him in front of the goal, but a little bit too much playing, too many mind games, not able to secure it in there. Grimella, banish onto 3Z, and he's dead. But a core from in front of the goal is not gonna matter. That kill was great.
UCLA is
good momentum. Go for it.
Yeah, UCLA has been on top of using these flips for like just being able to get confirms off of them, being able to find kills with them, and being able to like save their energy so they can actually get them more effectively, more often. We're seeing like just a lot of really great energy management coming out from UCLA here, and it's clearly showing because they're having times where they have 3 flips and Longhorn just has them on. Particle accelerator coming out there, able to find the barrier. Pillar does not save it, and that's the point
but it's going to take it
for UCLA.
Well played by 3Z there. The bounce on the Dubu walls have been a little bit scuffed today with the way the barriers have been breaking up. But that's a team player. He also has the option to deny the Spark of Focus. Because that is now a 2 Spark with Spark of Leadership Dubu that would be really bad for the enemy team to get. But he's going to take the knife set, he's going for the kill. And that's a Spark of, I believe that now is Spark of, I think in the first set it was Spark of Strength, Spark of Leadership, and Spark of Focus now on that Dubu. Yeah. No team player pickup, so they're playing more the kill comp than the control comp. They don't worry about passes as much as making sure that there's no enemy for them to pass it to. But a hot shot on the now denies the rune and lets him pick up Siege Machine. But is still a really good pickup there for now herself as well.
Yeah, with that little bit of duration on Siege Machine coming out for Rune, it's kind of like a Timeless at home. Fantastic banish that allows for a double barrier there. And there's the
that
10
again-
second
3Z with a
10
10
second
second
recovery
drone.
drone.
Tech. It's been working well so far. Both the last sets were sweeps, so maybe that's the secret tech.
Yeah,
just
Flambeau
gonna get
able to
passed
move
around
up
for a
and
second
find the
there.
clear.
Oh,
Oh,
Alex
Pillar
able to dash
finding an
down
angle
there.
there.
Was going to go. Really good save there. Banish out of Rune onto the Dubu there. And with the the dodge straight out of the Banish is really good. Alex is now kind of in a 2v1 here. Grimella's finally showing up there. Was brawling a little bit in midfield. Had to pull back. Strike shot misses, but the dash is able to secure that. Alex was so close on that. The 3Z log right into the wall actually really saved that. From going too far past, but Maple Leaf playing super far forward. The Nauro was a little bit backwards, which is unfortunate. The hook out of the Kazan is going to get mitigated by the Corporal from Balix, and 3Z Breezy able to secure it. Grimella trying so much, has so many arrows, so many
Maples
things.
getting these saves, particle accelerator with a pillar in it on the Banish core. Both barriers down for both teams. Flip comes out past to Nikki Middle, and then they dunk it through Balix. Bell curve hit at the goalie.
Yeah, hit at the goalie indeed. They never expected. Really well played there. I mean, the Banish as well from Flambeau, though, hitting 2 people and a red core. That was so well done by them. So much momentum. And that's 3Z going down again. Now the 10-second recovery drone is really coming back to bite him there. Nikki Middlin with a great bounce off the center
fantastic
into the
drone.
double barricade there. The anomaly finishes a little bit too early, and Grimella with the secondary is able to secure that. Doesn't get too much, but it does buy time, which is one of the most important things here. 3Z does come back. He's very low on health again. Is going to die off of
3Z.
Nikki Middlin is just farming 3Z here. Really didn't like being brawled in that previous round. The Naro's going to hit it up and around, buys more time, tries to just wait for 3Z to get back, and Nikki Middlin almost getting it through with that Kazan primary. 3Z Breezy misses the strike there. Everybody's running up on the top, just a little group of people all about the same speed trying to get to it first. Grimella with a great triple there, and 3Z goes down again.
3Z just cannot seem to live.
And
That's
that
just
is
really unlucky spacing for the Kazan to just be able to find these picks near the edge.
Yeah, and that is the way to counter Dubu forward. He's big, but he's also squishy. He can't really do as much. I think in the 4.0 patch, it's a little bit different now. He is fat, but he also has the staggered magic now. So it's not quite as much the counter, but it is still a little bit great. One barricade goes down to Longhorn Gaming, though. 3Z Breezy's log is going to hit a person instead of a core, and the hook from Nikki Miller is going to keep it engaged for a little bit longer, just going back and forth in the midfield. But Maple Leaf almost ricochets it backwards with his own wall, but manages to save it. This barricade is still alive. The double banish from
Triple
Flambeau is
banish.
great.
Flip denies the double barrier, but still able to get one off of that. Still great value here. Flop comes down, able to find clears so far. Pillar there just in case. The TP gets the clear out, looking to make some corner pressure here. Finds a demon angle into the back end of the barrier. Tried for
waits out
the
parry,
flip
the core
parry,
flip.
unable to find it.
That is a core flip out of Flambeau is denied, but the hook from Nikki Minolin is going to make sure that anything that Balix hits out goes right back into goal. So well played there, and we can see the beginnings of this kill comp really forming for Longhorn Gaming. Kazan, he started with the specialized training, and now he's really putting it to good use. Has the option for 1-2 punch, has the option for prime time. Really good awakenings. Even Demo and Built Different are really nice size awakenings on the Kazan, but he's going to go for the 1-2 punch. The Now has the option of cast to last, missile prop, primetime denies the primetime rapid fire Abyss onto Rune. Really well played there, keeping track of the enemy awakenings to deny that. Twin drive on Rune is still pretty good, but it's not quite the rapid fire primetime. Built Diff going the way of Asher, just size on Asher is really good. And a missile prop for the defensive Dubu, making sure that he can have a little bit more forward pressure with the strike shot, with the log, with the ult, is also really nice. I think it was a Demo going to 3Z.
UCLA just picked up 2 side strings. They're going to be a little bit bigger. Missile prop kind of messing with Flambeau there, unable to walk through it. Saves coming out from Longhorn here. Flambeau finding the first barrier with a TP play. Yeah, that size is coming in clutch there for 3Z, just able to win these strike wars more.
Yeah, and also able to live more than the 10 seconds to not get the 10-second recovery drone there that time. So good play there, just staying alive, and staying alive can never be underestimated. Oh, there we go. As soon as I say something, I cast her curse it. The 30-second drone instead of the 10-second drone. Triple banish, but also hits the core, but does manage to get the barricade. In the
able
end,
to find the barrier.
Mel and Breezy looking very low. Kazan looking to say the bigger they are, the harder they fall, as 3Z is just so low, taking so much damage. The core is just kept in the top corner. The Dual Particle Accelerator is mitigated by the anomaly there, but ooh, Flambo hits it right into the now arrow there. Unfortunately, I guess just didn't see it. Or maybe expected it to go away or something sooner. Unfortunate there. And ooh, Nikki Middleton with the ultimate there. I believe that was an ult into strike as well, just to make sure that it did go through the Asher there if she had any last tricks. But I think just the ult was enough to send it in there to red core just lightning fast. Great
Moving
barricade
into
going down
neutral
in a
here.
second. Go for it.
Yeah, Nikki Middleton coming out with the midfield flip, looking for a top barricade there. Able to keep it in the corner here. Timeless Creator at home, denying that a clear avenue. Able to find pressure, switching now to bottom side. These pillars just keeping it forward. The twin drive just allowing for more secondaries to come out from Rune. Oh, and the pillar saves it there. Able to keep that top barrier alive. Finding the kill on 3Z. Flambo TPing down. Moving into open space. Pillar finding it. Blocking off that avenue. Now Arrow picking up the core there, but still able to be defended by Maple. He's holding this very well. Flambo printing another flip. And that's another kill on 3Z. Flip comes out. Past to Middleton. Playing off this Tycho drum.
Great save there by Balex, getting that last second strike on the red core out of nowhere. The banish from Flambo is great onto the now. Keeps her out of the game, but 3Z's back. How long is going to live here? Gramella's looking to keep alive for a little bit longer with the health off of the orb. The core flip out of... Ooh, shoots it to the bottom, but Maple Leaf is on top of that. Not going to fall for that trick today. The Dubu wall from 3Z Breezy just going to keep it out of the goal because it was hit through. Balex is going to keep it out of the goal for now. The hook from Nikki Middleton is good, but not enough. Gramella's there on the top side to cover the 50-50, and 3Z Breezy is looking to send it to the bottom with the log, misses the log, and Maple Leaf is able to secure it there from the bottom there. Almost got the fake out on, but not quite. 3Z gets hit by the log into the banish, misses the core entirely because of that, and Nikki Middleton again in front of the goal has the core flip from Balex, not able to secure it. The anomalies are just too good. The log is really good, but Maple Leaf dodges up, thinks it's going up, and then it goes down right to where he just was, where he could have saved it with just a strike, let alone that core flip, and that is going to be UCLA tying it up with Longhorn Gaming. 1-1 games, 1-1 score, 2-2 sets. Just neck and neck, but 3Z Breezy is still getting killed. So much damage on him from Nikki Middleton. The anomaly saves 3Z there. Unfortunate. The anomaly giveth, the anomaly taketh away there. The Astral is going to keep it in that corner, just buy some time. The
Double
triple banish, 2 people and the core. Dubu Particle Accelerator this time not working in favor of 3Z as he dies as well for that. And Grimella is able to secure it, misses the flip because Maple Leaf was just a little bit faster. And Grimella is just trying to keep it on the enemy side of the map, trying to fight this 2v3.
What a pass.
3Z's back, dodges up and misses. The Blavo Cheer is there as well. He's in high spirits. He's trying to hold on. And Balex is doing a pretty good job of it. Ooh, but the strike shot!
Finds the angle.
So unfortunate there. Really good shot by Nikki Middleton, and Balex was a little too fast on the strike shot. By just maybe 1/10 of a second there, it just went beyond the core. Good secondary from Grimella is going to send it to the other side of the field there. The banish does a lot of damage, but damage on now doesn't mean as much with the orb, but it does mean that he can't heal 3Z, who's looking to potentially die. He does just get out of there with a little bit of dash. The Asher primary is really good there in front of the enemy goal, and this is potentially game match point, but no! It is now tied up 2-2-2-2 in the 1-1 games with great team play by Grimella and 3Z to sink it in the bottom there with all of that force.
It's coming down to the wire here. This has been an incredibly close game from both of these teams. Just incredible team play off of each other. Some very tight saves. Creations coming in clutch for both teams here. These pillars are being extremely obnoxious for UCLA to deal with, and these now options and Dubu walls are just denying everything. And that's 2 barriers for UCLA here, moving into 30 seconds into this round.
And 3Z do it. He's in front of the goal. He has the core. He has the... Yeah, he's not going to do it again. Maple Leaf is onto him. He doesn't get the secondary strike combo this time, but the Asher forward pushes it forward. The anomaly is not going to be able to secure too long, so it goes away. 3Z Breezy stunned. That's 2 Dubus down! Every Dubu is dead. The goalie is dead for Longhorn Gaming. Can they hold on? Balex goes for it. Has the leeway to do that. The Grimella dodges the rune ult there, manages to stay alive, manages to dodge the stomp, Zagan gets a barricade, has the Corpus potentially going to get the double barricade, but now arrows backwards, he's going to buy some time so that Valix can get back and strike it. Grimella is pushing it forward.
Overtime.
He's on the bottom. The bounce is crazy off these overtime drums. Breezy Breezy goes up, uses the log, but it misses, unfortunately. Nicky Middleton going to hit it back to the wrong Dubu there. Corfu out of Valix is great, goes around the anomaly, but when it's back up to Flambeau, he's just cycling around the map here, back and forth and back and forth. Breezy Breezy in front of the goal again, gets banished by Flambeau. Red Cord just off of a strike there, and that's both barricades going down. The momentum is in favor of Longhorn Gaming. Breezy Breezy is going to use the ult, but it's going to miss just a little bit. The anomaly is so good, keeps the corner cleared. And Breezy Breezy passes it down, buys a little bit more time, strikes it up to the top, and that is Maple Leaf failing to get the roll just in time. Really good, and I think that was an anomaly as well from Flambeau that hit it backwards at that off angle, was trying to save it. Unfortunate there from Flambeau, just a little bit too far away to get the perfect save, but really well played from both teams, giving us the 3 games. If only we had seen that game 1, would have been great, but we still got the 2 games out of them, and they were really good games. And of course, this one was a treat as well. 8 goals over
what an incredible match.
Longhorn Gaming, and 9 goals, just the one more necessary over to UCLA. I believe
just
that actually
a casual
means that
41k damage coming out of Nicky Middleton's Kazan here. 7 KOs. Not to mention all of the takes of the recovery drone that happened, but it's just unfortunately not enough.
Yeah. Ooh, what a game. That was, I'm almost speechless. That was so fun to watch and to see. But yeah, you were saying in the end, like, the damage from Kazan was great, but they weren't quite able to capitalize as well. There were so many times when Grimella was just holding it down in that 2v3, keeping it on the other side of the fields that, yeah, you killed the Dubu, you made it a 2v3, but you just couldn't quite get past until the Dubu's back. And yeah, he gets killed again pretty quick, and they made a lot of good points that way, but just 1 point short.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get more down to the wire than that. You're in loser's bracket, set 5, 2-2, hitting overtime, your goalie dies, you're able to hold for the respawn, and it's just not quite enough. What a tragic loss there for Longhorn, but UCLA just played incredibly well, able to utilize their energy economy super efficiently, able to consistently get their flips into goals, even though, like, we had 3Z dying quite a bit. But yeah, just an incredible match that we just witnessed.
Yeah. Also, I believe with the 8 points to Longhorn Gaming, I think it was actually every single set except for the last one was a sweep. I think, because it was 9 points to, it's 9 points to win 3 sets, and then it is 9 points for Longhorn. They swept every single set they won to win the game, and then aside from the last set, I think Longhorn Gaming swept the first 2 sets that they took, and then, of course, 2 points in the final one. So a really back and forth game, but in a weird way. Because usually the back and forth game, it's, it's like 5 points every single set, but this was like sweep to sweep to sweep to sweep to a 5-point finish on like the absolute latest it could have gone, the 5th point, 5th set, 3rd match. So really just holding in there, and just kudos to the players for not being so crazily fatigued they couldn't even play the game after all 3 of these matches. So well played.
Yeah. Undeniably, congratulations to UCLA to making it to day 2, and it was a great effort that we saw from Longhorn here. Honestly, that was a treat to watch. That was one of the most interesting Tycho games I've seen in a while. So it was a pleasure to get to watch that one.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to watch. It's a pleasure to cast alongside you as well, and that also means that we get to see where everybody falls onto the bracket, to see who these teams. Because I mean, I want to see these teams again. So I want to see where these teams are on these brackets. So we see that it is Lakeland versus UT Dallas in the bottom there, and SLU versus George Mason up at the top. That is... Oh. There we go. So
there we go. Okay.
And then we also see Longhorn Gaming versus Fanshawe Fuel in the bottom there. I was like, how does this... Okay, there we go. Longhorn Gaming versus UCLA into the round 4 that we just cast. And then that. Cool. So, where do these brackets go next? I believe, because...
Well, that's for tomorrow to find out. You guys are gonna have to tune back in.
enough.
The day 1 That's it for us today. But tomorrow, it's going to be even more intense than what we witnessed here today. And that's saying something, because that was an incredible match that we just witnessed for just making it to day 2 in losers. Imagine what we're going to see tomorrow. Incredible teams. Everyone played fantastic. It's always a pleasure to watch some of these close sets where it's just back and forth.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, and it's one of those things where it's like the more the better. Just keep giving us these long games and the back and forths. They are just so much fun to watch. So thank you to these teams for giving us a game. Thank you to production, everybody, for doing this. Thank you to Orion for casting alongside me here. And any last thoughts before we send it off?
Yeah, I think it was just a great organization that we got, that we were able to cast CCL on Odyssey Interactive's Twitch. Thank you again for letting us broadcast this event on your platform. But yeah, incredible day of Corestrike, so happy to send it off.
Right then. Well, we're at Ryan. We're sending it off now, so thank you all for coming out. Sony salute to all the players. Love you very much. It's a great community to be in. Thank you, and goodbye. Hit it backwards there, but almost did. And 3Z takes that first barrier. Cornfield's right in front of the goal. Safety, rune pillar not necessary. But that rocket is open. Longhorn Gaming potentially going to strike back. Core flip out of Grimella gets a double barricade. Now both goals are open. And Nicky Middleton is just going to send it right down the bottom there with E3. The 3Z Breezy finally going to free it. But it gets something back with a strike shot. 3Z Breezy just bounces around the goal. The Luna ult. And then, ooh, the Molten Bolt. The strike shot misses from Maple Leaf, but the Drakkar shot comes a little too early. That Mako sector used to hold that so well. Strike shot from Ash, are going to keep it forward. Ricocheted into barrier. Grimel's looking very low, but is still fighting, trying to keep it forward. 3Z Breezy on that forward. Luna is able to get the and the banish on the cord, going to hit the black hole there. Goes through it. I have never seen that interaction before. That is actually hilarious. Now someone has to be the one to trigger the black hole. Oh, Grimella! Ooh, the red core in this overtime you're talking about earlier. It's going so fast. Even the dribbles are almost impossible. Ooh, Nicky Middleton just is able to secure up there with dash and strike, and 3Z Breezy on top. Forflip is denied. Luna ult is going to shoot it back to goal there. The ult from Zatara trips it up and shoots it to the bottom, and Balix is not able to get there. The Asher, again, it's a really powerful ability, that one for seeing through people, hit them and at the same time. In a similar way to Estelle. And, ooh, beautiful ricochet there. The abilities, the perfect time, the perfect predictions. The Luna ult is not even going to sink into the goal, but it's going to make it really fast, really uncomfortable for the goalie there. And the Asher ultimate there, going to actually the last set and go to game 3. But not easily, though. Nicky Millen really putting up a fight there. So many hits, but just was slightly off on one of them, but it's going to be very low potential kill here, and is dead now. And that is a Luna ult going to hit it backwards into the goal. Dash is off before it's slammed over the core, and able to find that black barricade from UCLA. But a pass back and forth. Strike shot from Balance is not able to secure it in there, but going to top Maple Leaf. Strike shot in just a second. That doesn't hit the barricade either. This barricade.
Yeah, this barrier of being the light.
This barricade, I love it. Goes back across multiple hits, and so does the cage onto Grimella, who is stuck inside there. Close out, but that is dead. Ooh, that is a core flip on Tycho. Is just the ability to stuff a wall in your opponent's corner at the creation. That first point comes out real rapid. Drums get really unpredictable once the force speed comes out. Flip comes, Flop able to stop that from going in. Pink core off of a pillar. We now have 4 going red for just a second. The pass up to Nick and kills the Asher. KO flip into the goal. Nominal's going to send it back. That is Grimella almost dying there to the Zon primary. And that is
great stun from
the little great defensive.
Great vertical clear there.
Gets banished, can't corporate, but a great barrier there from Grimella. And Breezy, no corporate, that's so close to death, but does have that stagger square, which we keep alive in the game for a while. And Breezy going to use the corporate now finally and just waits for it to finish strong there that time. He's got his barrier. Alex is able to get that save around. He's able to clear it finally past the bomb. Was there for so long. He's kind of right at the cleared in there. Grimella, banish onto Breezy. He's dead. The corporate in front of the goal is not done anything.
Longhorn just has a particle accelerator coming out there. Able to find the barrier. Pillar does not save it, and that's the point. That is particle accelerator with a pillar in it on the banished core. Both barriers down for both teams. Flip comes out past Nicky Middle, and then they've
got the same speed trying to get to it first. Grimella with a great Breezy goes down again.
Breezy just cannot seem to live. flip parry, unable to find it.
His core flip out of Flambo is denied, but the hook from Nicky Minolin is going to make sure that any Flambo hits it right into the now arrow there. Unfortunately, I guess just didn't see it. Maybe expected it to go away or something sooner. Unfortunate there.
Oh,
Nicky Minolin. And Nicky Minolin again in front of the goal has the core flip from Valak. Not be able to secure it. The anomalies are just too good. The log is really good, but Maple Leaf dodge. Well, he's in high spirits. He's trying to hold on. And Valak is doing a pretty good job of it. Oh, but the strike shot! It does just get out of there a little bit dash. Asher Primary is really good there in front of the goal. This is potentially game match point, but no! It is now. Just look, the anomaly is so good. Keeps the corner cleared. And he passes it down, buys a little bit more time, strikes it up the top, and that is